Hello, hello, THL fans. Welcome to Friday Night Fights. I'm your host, Saku, the guy that's always here on Fridays. With me tonight, I have Wild9, who's filling in for Corden or helping chip in for Corden. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good, doing good. Excited about our match today.
Yeah, our match, which we
Well,
have three of
matches
them.
for you, right?
We have three matches today, so we're rolling in with the first is a Pro Series semifinals with Heat Shock from Bread Ape versus your mum kid, who's from No Pros Here, and at 9, we'll be joined by Donde, everybody's favorite director of content. Who's going to help cast the Legacy quarterfinals Red Conference with um, Robocat from Bluefish versus Nice Jewish Owl from Wallet Warriors. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, we had another quarterfinals for the Legacy Series and Gold Conference with Geranium Battle from Light Showers versus Bone Masher from Down Under. All pros missing. So, should be some exciting fun, some playoff action. But,
Yeah, playoff action's always fun.
yep,
Always interesting.
I always love being on playoffs, but only got there once, forever. Once upon a time in Hero Series, but it's fun getting there.
Yeah, it is for sure.
So how about
Yeah.
we go over the Pro Series match that we have? We can go over the deck list real quick.
Yeah, so we have Heat Shock who has banned the rogue of Urmumkid, and Urmumkid has banned the control warrior essentially of Heat Shock. Overall, it just looks like Heat Shock brought a bunch of control classes, including Libram Pally, but with a very controlled package, including Mutinous the Devourer and Silas Darkmoon. And the Warlock is not running quests, so it's basically like a handlock, but just no quests. And again, lots of control tools running also like the Soul package,
Mm-hmm.
right? So would be a control warrior, and then a priest, even
Oh,
a control priest,
we
no
have an
quest
even
as
priest.
well.
What?
No, no. But just yeah, we haven't seen any real priest besides Shadow Priest, right? So it'll be interesting to see a control priest, not a quest priest, being navigated here.
Yeah, I had to double look at Heat Shock. It's like even before I looked at the deck list, is saying that why is priest here? But hey, it's working, I guess.
I mean, it's a very interesting lineup. Obviously, something that you kind of have to know what you're doing in order to operate. And hopefully, he knows what he's doing here. I'm curious what he was trying to target a little bit. I do kind of, but I'm not an expert. So, some ways I would default to what Heat Shock is doing here. But I mean, the Death Rattle Demon Hunter that Rumkin will have, the Aggro Druid, and the Libram Pally is what he's up against. I do think there's some interesting tech that does well against the Libram Pally in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Demon Hunter to some degree, but I do wonder like if they'll be able to get there. I guess maybe this is one of those situations where he's kind of trying to target out the Druid or some of these more aggressive matchups and just overwhelm them with the tech and removal and life gain, essentially.
Yeah. Yep. So the players are pretty much ready to go. If we're ready to go, which we kind of are,
Yeah.
because thankfully with open deck lists we can evaluate quickly what not so much the player's intention, but at least what they're bringing, and it helps us figure out
Y-
what's going on. So
Yeah, it's hard to evaluate some of these decks simply because they're not played enough. So,
that's right.
you can go and look at stats and things like that, but it's just not clear. You're also probably looking at stats for players who don't play the deck very much or players who are, not top legend players like Heat Shock, right? So like
Yep.
it's hard really to see, to rely on any statistics, even though these aren't popular classes that traditionally do well on ladder, for example.
All right. So we are going to get the players started here. So for our viewers, your mum kid's going to be at the bottom of the screen, or first to spectate for our caster and top guy, whoever that is, and Heat Shock's going to be at the top. So we do have player cams, thankfully. So we're just waiting for eyeballs to activate, and then we will be able to cast our first match of the evening.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting, even the bans are a little bit telling. The ban of Rogue for Heat Shock and Urmumkin banning the Warrior, which was a control warrior, which is kind of interesting. I'm kind of wondering if Urmumkin starts with the Demon Hunter first, just because it has a little more stickiness to these minions to kind of test out this control lineup.
Yep.
I'd be a little concerned with some of the tech cards that um, for the Libram Pally, because there's just a number of tech cards that you're kind of not happy to see. All right, looks like we're getting into the game.
So we are in.
Yeah, the Demon Hunter start. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I feel like Heat Shock could have started with anything because, in some sense, maybe in some sense, just about anything.
We got Priest versus Death Rattle, Demon Hunter, Control Priest versus man, can't speak tonight. Tripping over my own tongue. All right. Here we go.
Well, it
big
does
turn one turn.
It does look like even that play was interesting though to me. He didn't trade the peddler. I thought that could have been a trade turn because you really have a pretty bad hand for a Mumkid. Whereas the priest actually is going to get on board really nicely here in a 2-3 curve into like palm readings to discount all the spells that he's about to discover. And as a Death Rattle Demon Hunter, I feel like you don't really. I mean, I guess it's nice that he drew this Razor Fen. That's going to help smooth out this curve a bit. So choosing between Rally, Devouring Plague, and Shadow Form. Shadow Form is very interesting. I don't think that's going to be the pick, but I mean, Devouring Plague seems like the right call, but you never know. Okay. Because, Rally is also interesting since, you have a Scorpion, but. All right, thankfully, we get the Razor Fen down, so we can start to look like we're pressuring, essentially.
Exactly.
I mean, and this works out too with the Persistent Peddler keep, I suppose, right? Like now he does have something to come out.
To basically work with.
Yeah. And he's got the Fell Steel too to smork with.
Yep.
This value trade makes a lot of sense. But this hand, honestly, this control hand that Heat Shock has is going to get pretty disgusting, especially since he basically controls the board for the first few turns here.
Yeah, just looking at Devouring Plague and palm reading, doing some discounting. So,
all right, another value trade here also makes a lot of sense. But I gotta feel like if I'm an Urmumkin though, it doesn't feel good to lose these minions just to poison on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, the focused will. Oh, okay. I was thinking that he could silence. That's just kind of good, but Psychic Split is the choice. Curious what he's going to end up Psychic Splitting later in the game, perhaps.
What do you pick here? Mage Scribe or Brightwing? Brightwing gets you a little something, but it's kind of random, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if he could play the Brightwing now, I think that could have been the pick. Oh, he could. He could have played it though. So he went the. I mean, that makes sense. You can life gain, out of nowhere from your hand. Man, this is a lot of discovers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Skeletal Dragon or Proto Drake could be a sticky minion.
Yep. Again, this is one of those scenarios where I feel like I'm out of my depth simply because I'm not sure. My thought process is just, don't you just? Oh wow, that's a great find. But is he going to use it? No. Okay. My thought process. I mean, he's got so many resources right now in hand. Yeah. My thought process is that all you're doing is just trying to survive, right? But and run, but maybe against in this matchup because of the amount of use the word refill, but basically like Death Rattle Hunter can come at you with a bunch of different waves of stuff
Mhm.
that maybe you. Oh, now he trades it. Ooh, that's a good trade, I suppose. And then he gets to keep his poison keep his 3-1 alive if he decides,
Yeah,
to use
which
his
is
weapon.
it was kind of a, I guess, a weird trade, but he ended up picking up the green rag. So
All right, turn 6
mhm.
gets this Proto Drake down. I mean, oh,
Wow.
okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of plays here. He can coin out the 7, which is the most tempo on the board. He decides to do. He could have also played the Inquisitor, but you're just not getting any real value from that, unfortunately. So I think this makes a lot of sense because you're basically you see your opponent play a huge minion that also has Death Rattle, and he just wants to go wide on the board.
Mhm.
And so uses the 3/3 to create the 1/1s, which I think does also make sense. Although, I mean, knowing this list, you might be expecting some AoE. So I don't know. There's that was an interesting trade, actually.
Here comes a silence all enemies. Of course, he
Yeah, I guess. I mean, does he play that in his list too, or no? He plays one.
I was just gonna say he just drew
So
that
that
one top deck one.
yeah, that might make sense then to run it in, just because you can't play around everything, and probably the worst case scenario is some kind of like AOE silence plus clear. So I guess this is the if you wanted to double and psych split, you could.
Yep, would it be the 8-5? I would think this the psych split,
Yeah,
and then
but there's so much pressure on the board. I guess it depends on what else you can do with your mana. You have one more mana. You got a devouring play against silence, so that should work out pretty well. You can trade as well here. Yeah, and then you can just get some life back and hopefully
yikes.
clear something. Oh, kind of the worst possible. So
Yep.
thinking about whether to wave of apathy here. He actually has to, doesn't he?
Good.
Oh shoot. Is that lethal? That's lethal, right? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it.
He actually needed to. I think it's just a little greedy there, but it's really unfortunate that the devouring plague didn't kill that 3-1 and didn't kill one of these 1/1s, right? This is
Ouch.
close, one over exact lethal there.
Yeah.
So
Heat Shark just
that
kind
is
of,
rough.
we get to see, and our fans get to see him rubbing his head on that one, just like, oh, okay, so that's a thing. I gotta watch out for that.
I mean, I think that's why I was thinking from Mumkin's perspective. That's just that Death Rattle Demon Hunter measures up to be pretty good against what he's facing. Just because you have that burst ability, you have a lot of stickiness, all those things, right? It's hard to, as a priest there, or as any control deck, to try to manage everything at the same time.
That's right. Yep. All right.
But I do feel like survival was the thing there. So I don't know. I do kind of feel like you can't be so greedy with the value, but I get it too because we could see Ermumkid's hand too. Like he had refill for days, so it
Well,
was going to be.
yeah,
He had 2 skulls in hand, right? So
yeah, that whole coin. Oh God, what was that guy's name again? Keep on forgetting what it was.
yeah, the whatever his face is.
Death Eater dude. So,
Yes,
so
the Death Speaker Blackthorn.
hey, word for word, verbatim. That's what I said, right?
This is also interesting. Ermumkid using the hero power. He had a couple options there. Could have coined out the Bannerman, but I think he's saving coin for the Truth Seekers. Also didn't play the Knight of Anointment. I think it speaks to me, at least in my mind, it speaks to understanding the control matchup.
Mhm.
Like even the hero power is still a 1/1. You don't draw, but this way you also get a small buff on the knight. You're kind of squeezing out a little bit of value here. So I do think that's meaningful, interesting kind of line. I'm going to also assume that clear is understanding that probably this is not, this paladin's not going to go wide, right?
No,
Generally speaking,
it's gonna go tall,
you're
obviously, but not.
yeah, you're going to go tall, not wide, so you have some value from that board clear.
Yeah.
Wow, that was interesting. Again, I he didn't tap there because what does he
He's
have?
got
Is he
10
at
or 9
10?
right
I
now.
mean 9, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and then he didn't play anything either. I guess that makes sense. So he's saving Vol'jin. I mean, that's my thought process too. The Vol'jin is to get rid of Librams. And so that's kind of also or Mumkin plays around it. He doesn't play the Libram. Um, I mean, the Vol'jin also, I mean, you could use it. There's so many targets, honestly, for Vol'jin
It is, yeah.
in this matchup.
Yeah, it's banish away the Libram wisdom, so or
Yeah.
I
The
can't
good thing
remember.
too, this next turn he has this entitled customer that can blow this up. But yes, Divine Shield is annoying to say the least.
And Heat Shock just keeps taking some damage to the face every turn
Yep.
by this lovely growing 8/9. Oh, there we go.
Oh, top deck Siphon Soul probably saves the day there, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was
I guess
pausing for effect for Heat Shock there. You just said, yeah, okay, great. All right, got it.
I mean, he could have Vol'jinned it, right?
Yeah.
Which still feels bad though, right? I mean, you get the Eldor back. I guess you lose a Divine Shield, but you don't lose any Librams. Like, I don't know how wonderful that would have been if he had to Vol'jin. I definitely think that top deck keeps him healthy in
Hmm.
this game.
He doesn't keep taking, what was it, 5 last turn? Can't remember. No, last
Yeah,
turn
but
was
it's
8, but I mean, before that was 5 or something like that. I can't remember.
right. I think like the other thing to note that I really like from Kid's play is, understanding the board states that he wants to
Hmm.
create. I think ultimately, while you do want to push damage, creating this weird board state where you have one tall minion and one smaller minion, keeping it diverse in terms of where you put the Librams on. I think all of that is working to his favor. Here, I think if you play the Bannerman, you are, but maybe he has no choice essentially. But I think you are
Ooh, barrel.
pretty much playing into
Oh,
Hysteria. This does play into Hysteria a bit, but can't play around everything, obviously.
yep.
So 2 souls in deck with the Sociologist.
Clear up a little
Doesn't
bit.
seem, I don't know, is that enough? You leave 5 power on the board if you do it that way.
Yeah. But
Yeah, the
good call.
Hysteria play makes the most sense in my mind, but it's not a full clear. But then you can follow it up with a Soul Share. Oh, it's basically the best outcome there.
Yep.
Now you have a much stronger Sociologist for next turn.
Can't believe it's turn 7 already. Things have
I know.
flying by.
These entitled customers are going to be interesting. Just for, I mean, for these tall truth seekers, for example, that are about to come down.
I was even thinking, yeah, the Librams of Hope that may come down, they get their bubble burst. There's eight damage right there that takes care of some business.
Right. So these pupils are going to be very annoying to deal with.
Yep.
These 0 mana pupils on turn 7. Honestly, that's pretty disgusting.
Not gonna lie.
You are definitely running into. He keeps the library. You're definitely running into some high rolling of this. I mean, so often, like you watch Libram Pally, sometimes just miss the Librams, miss the buffs, like not have any Bannermans, and just kind of sit there doing very little. But we have the opposite occurrence here, putting tons of pressure.
Yep.
Where that tempo turn means, okay, he could Silas, but does that save you here? I don't think it saves you. What else can you do? Can Sociologist, does that clear enough? I don't think so. Okay, yeah, this, oh no, he can't Sociologist after this. So he's just looking to kill 1 minion?
Full share and then.
Or maybe I'm not seeing it.
That's 6/8 still. That's what I
Okay.
was gonna say. The 6/8 kind of still sticks
So he
around.
does kill 2, but yeah, the 6/8 stays around. He had 2 different plays there. He could have killed the 6/8 instead of the 5/6. But so
Yeah.
it would have been a 5/6 and a 4/5 left over. Um, this is very close to lethal, right? He's 1 damage off right now.
Yeah.
So the trade's probably looking for some direct damage of any kind, but doesn't hit it. Seems like you're going to put him on the brink almost no matter what. It's just a question of what do you do with the 3/2. And yeah, that's disgusting. Ugh, just feels so bad.
You want hope? We got Libram of Hope.
I mean, you just saw that he couldn't deal with an 8 health minion, sort of. I mean, he could, but also couldn't. And now, how are you going to deal with that with a
Smart.
8/8 divine shield on top of that?
Yep. Smart to do the
Feels
broom
bad.
on the outside. Well, he's going to get rid of it, but oh, there you go. Good
Oh,
thinking. Good thinking, kid.
interesting. Okay.
Well, just keep
Yeah,
the
I
broom on
mean,
the outside, so if Silas does come down, then you're
right.
not losing an 8/8.
And you don't get 1 more damage to face, but 2 is the same pretty much as 1 in
Yep.
this case in terms of breakpoints. Still can't tap unless he draws that, but
Oh boy. Bread Baker's not going to save him with 8 cards, so it's 12. Definitely 23 on board right now.
he can't get it clear. Well, I'm not seeing an out.
I do. It's gonna bottom right's an out.
Yeah, I
Theoretically.
guess that is the out.
But we'll see what Heatshock thinks about. On screen, he's perplexed a little bit. Trying to figure out how to get rid of the bubble is 1, and then 2, not take
I
23.
think this is kind of that, like, okay, first recognize the Libram Pally does basically high roll here. I mean, basically you're drawing as good as you possibly can, close to it. But second, like, I do think that's part of what's tough about some of these control decks that aren't being played, or one of the reasons why they don't get a lot of play is just in theory, it seems like it should work out. Like the cards seem to line up, but
Yeah.
then in practice, I mean, people can play around it. If people can play around it well enough, it becomes very difficult. This doesn't save them. Hey, it's a bear off.
That was a disgusting work of art there from your mom kid there. So,
Yeah, I really like the way he played that. I mean,
yep.
On some level, you're facing down every tech card that's almost designed in some sense to beat these Libram and big minion plays and so on and so forth. So I really do like the way that he played around it very carefully throughout the entire game. So all that's left for him is the aggro druid. And I mean, I'm fairly certain the aggro druid is good in a lot of these matchups, to be honest. Certainly, even against Libram Pally, it's at least 50-50. It's not going to be hugely disadvantaged. So we're going to see it first against the Warlock, which does, I think, make a lot of sense. The Warlock does have a lot of good AoE here to deal with, kind of has all the tools to deal with the aggro druid. I imagine we're going to see it in reverse order, perhaps. We'll see the Warlock and then the Priest and then the Pally, but let's see if he can get the first win down.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can reverse sweep this aggro druid.
I don't know what the stats are for aggro druid versus this control type warlock, but might be. Let's say 53%.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of
the
weird.
good news for him is that at least so far, the draw for a Mumkid is just average, if not below average. He also gets on the board first, gets the Spirit Jailer down, has an armor vendor too. Behind that, wisely taps. I think that makes a lot of sense. You need to get that hand size to be a little bit larger. But he's got tools to deal with whatever comes down here. The pack mule is not something you want to see in the Bulligan, of course. So gets one of his fragments. All right, choosing to tap instead of wiping the 2/3, but that makes, again, kind of a lot of sense. You could still remove it. But interesting. He doesn't play the armor vendor.
Ooh, this is the. Did they fix it?
I'm very curious. Oh yeah, I don't know. It looks good so far, right?
Yeah, we'll cross our fingers here, folks.
Yeah.
There was no upside down card after the first pack mule showed up. So Blizzard, if you fixed it,
Have they done it?
we shall see.
So he's got a couple different options here. This 3-mana turn is a little bit awkward. He could play the Og Merchant to kill the 1/1, but I don't think that's what you would like to do with the Og Merchant, given this matchup. He also doesn't have any of his power cards, the Battle Master, is it called, right? The Taunt guy and the Oracle. Those seem to be missing. Probably also has to consider on turn 4, is he going to coin out a Teacher's Pet or use coin here instead? So yeah, it takes kind of a slow turn, you might say.
Goodness, it worked.
Yeah.
Line, it worked. They played the first mule.
He played the first mule, that's right. Oh.
Just been updating our second match there, so they're going to be closer to 9 p.m. Eastern because Al is casting another series.
Oh.
So OPSE, I think it must be the college brand.
Nice.
So it will be more sticking to our time frame for our next match, just in case this one goes to sweep. But we'll keep watching this
We'll
one
make do.
intently. Exactly right. Heat Shock's a smart dude, so figure this one out.
Ooh.
That is a good Hysteria.
That is a very good Hysteria.
Oh,
that's probably the worst it could have rolled.
At least it burst some bubbles, but that's another good thing out of that, I guess.
Oh, interesting. Oh, composting is the play. That makes sense. Yeah, so trying to protect this Razor main Battle Guard.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the main value here is you want to refill your hand, right? So you're playing as much as possible to get composting down so you can get your hand back. It's got a very nice clear, essentially. Yep. I like the way the Heat Shock is playing this. I mean, basically, he's just, playing out nice and slow.
There's a
for each.
Yeah, for each one. For each turn, that's right. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just kind of.
No, you're fine.
Your mum kid's
Arbor Satisfied up, Squirrel. Oh, the Arbor Up?
Yeah.
You did get a squirrel to go with it, but I don't know. Do you play?
Or do you play
Graybow doesn't feel great just because there's a very high likelihood that you can clear the 2/1s. I don't know. Maybe at this point, this is the point where, at least for me, I'd have to go and look at the list in detail and try to figure out, okay, what am I playing around here?
Yeah.
But I kind of like this. The 4/4. It's just like that awkward thing of 1 big, 2 small is a little bit awkward. Yeah, 5 3/3s would come out if he plays a Sociologist, which looks very, very nice.
Yeah.
This top deck is pretty disgusting. Because but I guess Graybow would have been better in the end.
Oracle Balloon.
Well, if you can get a Battle Guard, his out to come back here would have, or still is, I guess, to draw a Battle Guard, honestly. Because then he could double his Graybows, potentially. The Oracle would, double the Battle Guard, which makes the Graybow 1 mana, and that'll double the Graybow. Mm-hmm. And so usually that makes it pretty awkward to eliminate. We do see in our opponent's hand, though, a Twisting Nether, so he does have the tools to make sure we don't get infinite Graybows, which is kind of, I think at this point, the main way to win, I guess, for a Mump Kid. I'm not sure how he gets back on board here to put any kind of pressure, even though he does have a lot of value. Like,
he does.
He took all those value plays basically, instead of some of the more tempo-oriented plays, which I don't think is a mistake because honestly, the slow start kind of really hurts him, I think, in this matchup, and then his opponent just had the right, opening early
Cards.
cards.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can even mutinous right now and try and get lucky with a gray bow.
Eating something.
Yeah, or
Well,
even
he
a
did
rogue.
see, like, there's a 1/1 also in his opponent's
Oh
hand.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see the moodiness was more for I actually thought that a lot of his deck lists were maybe for Paladin in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is gonna be what?
Ticketus? Does Ticketus come out? No, he wouldn't do
I
that.
thought it was gonna be the
Oh, it is.
oh, yeah, it is Ticketus.
Okay,
Alright.
that's right, folks.
What
I
did we
sort of
get?
know what I'm doing. Not really.
An acorn. 2
Oh
acorns.
my god! And a peasant and two
Hilarious. 2
peasants.
peasants. Some of
Wow.
the lowest value stuff that he could get.
Yeah. So at
But
least it wasn't Arbor Ups, and else would be a bad burning card?
Um, there's not that much, honestly. Maybe a Park Panther because you can get some damage to face.
True.
Cult Neophyte is reasonable, but he's got one hand, there's another in the deck. Oh, the Battle Guard. I guess the Battle
There
Guard
you
is
go.
the remaining card that actually does really matter here.
Yeah. So do we Anoyo and Cub with Arbor Up, or are we looking at
I
Graybow?
feel, oof. I mean, are you just saving the Arbor up for some kind of like take him down from whatever? I guess you have to. I guess that's probably the right play. Interesting.
This feels awkward, but
This feels very awkward. I kind of like the Colt Neophyte a little bit better, but Watch Post, I don't know how much Watch Post really does here. I feel like the Colt Neophyte, but maybe you have to save the Neophyte for an Arbor up turn or something for a turn where you create more pressure than this. This is honestly not that much pressure.
oh,
That's
good.
pretty good.
Yep.
At least. At
Little
least you
something
get
something,
something.
little 1/1 bubble,
Yeah,
poison bubble.
that's meaningful. Um,
Boom.
yeah, I mean, you still have so many tools, and
Bread,
gonna get
bread bacon
ultra
pizza.
greedy as we possibly can to heal all the way up here. Oh my god, that is a lot of souls, and he's pulling them in the right order. All the souls coming out after he's already played Sociologists back up to 28. I mean, this is the reason why I guess you can't just arbor up and do a little bit of damage, right? Like he goes sub 10 and then he's gonna bounce back. So
It's right. And then
um
I just gonna say, so if Ked comes out with Graybow and whatever,
that's
Heat
kind of
Shock's
why
not the answer. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of like the Cult Neophyte there, even though
Yeah.
probably doesn't. I mean, he probably still clears the board and everything, but can't do everything that he just did.
Yes, you can.
Uh,
You can do everything.
maybe you're going for this like double Cult Neophyte play.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make a lot of minions.
And
um,
then arbor up that and see what happens.
and hope, yeah, hope that you can pull off the Arbor up afterwards. Um, honestly, I'm not seeing a lot of ways out of this.
Well, he's saving.
Even a double Cult Neophyte turn, he would probably just Twisting Nether it anyway. Just use 10 mana for it. So you're saving it. I guess you're saving it for that Battle Guard turn. Oh god.
Nom nom.
That is
So does that mean
I think the game is over.
so yeah, Ked
I
kind
think
of
that
just
actually is the game over.
Ked just kind of
I'm
shook his head. So
I'm assuming there, he's literally thinking about the reason why he was waiting for this Battle Guard that he just top decked.
yeah.
To play with these neophytes and to play with a double Greybow turn. And instead now the Greybow's eaten. So you just have to go with plan B, which is not great, honestly.
Which is only smart
Yeah.
four.
I mean, again, there's part of me that just questions this far watch post, but it's not that big a deal. I mean, he's getting value, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes another clear. This should do it. Yep, that is the correct play. It's a forfeit.
There we go, Heat Shock. Got his win for
Yep, getting on the board.
getting on the board. So getting that pain train rolling with a win with Warlock. Oh,
I mean, that might be the plan. The plan. I mean, I can't say for certain that the plan really is just to, you know, reverse sweep an aggro druid.
yeah.
Mainly because I would expect a different paladin list if that were actually the plan. The paladin list doesn't. It just looks okay against druid, not necessarily geared to beat druid. But he does have the tools to make this druid's life hard for the in terms of warlock and priest, and then it might come down to a 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Priest versus Druid. This has got to be the plan. Is for Priest is.
Got some good cards to start with again. The Wand Maker.
Yep.
Something to play on 1 and 2 with the Draconic Studies. Meanwhile, our Mumpkin throws the whole hand away, which makes sense. Had basically trash. Oh, decides to throw everything away as well for Heat Shock.
So keeping the shard. Priest
I think
dead.
he keeps shard, yeah.
Here.
All right. Not exactly the best hand for her Mumpkid.
Nope.
Not bad, just not optimal.
The start is slow for Druid, and then Taunt Druid or Aggro Druid is just looking to go mad crazy. So on turn
Yeah,
2.
especially in this matchup. I mean, I think
Yep.
that's really what you're trying to do here. Expect the Annoyatron to come out, most likely. Not sure what else you would play here. You could think about killing this 1/3, but doesn't seem to make much sense. I think Heat Shock, making that mulligan, I guess that makes sense. Like he doesn't have removal in the initial hand that he had. He's
Mhm.
probably looking for condemns. He does play 2 of them. And that's probably going to be a key card in this matchup, as well as like Hysteria and some of these AoE type cards. But so far, he does have the Soul Mirror, like you mentioned. But so far, we're not seeing a lot of AoE. He's got kind of a clunky hand too.
So both players
So
are starting off a little rough around the edges.
yeah,
So Peasant might come down.
yeah. I imagine this has to be Peasant Cult Neophyte, even though it's not ideal. But you can follow up with Coin Arbor Up or Coin Teacher's Pet, both of which seem. I mean, you prefer the Arbor Up if you have a board, but
Yep.
if he does kind of wreck your board some way, you still have Coin Teacher's Pet. Okay, this looks like he's taking a slower. Oh, okay. So instead of the Peasant going for a board clear with the Cult Neophyte.
Okay.
I imagine the idea there is to make sure you can get a good Arbor Up. That's going to be fine. Yeah. So I'm assuming it's just Coin Arbor Up here. And, oh, no, that doesn't really change anything.
So what's he got? 4.
I assume everything goes face, but maybe I'm wrong.
16
Maybe the
to face
3/2
right now, yep.
trades? No. So how do you deal with this now?
You shut
I like
your
that play.
You
That
shut
was-
your
that
monitor
was-
off, man, and that's it. You're done.
There's a condemn,
Oh, that's a good
but
condemn.
it's 2 damage to everything. That is still very good. Oh, plus the
Silence.
silence. Yep, that's clear. Yikes. That is really rough.
Yep.
And there's a heal to follow. Just because.
Plus,
Just because you have the mana. You're looking for anything.
Here you go.
Okay. I mean, nothing there was great, but this is at least cheap. Yikes. I guess you are deciding now between Park Panther. I think Park Panther makes sense though.
Yeah, Park
And
Panther.
then you can play the Peasant. Okay, because I think the Peasant would have been interesting, just because it does represent something that they want to clear. They want to clear both in that situation, but
So
This is more power on the board for next turn.
raised it. So what are we bringing back? We're bringing back.
These two importers to
We're
look for
bringing.
more spells.
Yeah,
Ooh, Flashy. Oh, okay. That's fine too.
bringing
Flashy is a little bit cheaper, but oh gosh.
Devouring
Both are
Plague.
great.
Yep.
I assume it's the plague, but
Yep.
he was burned by the plague before. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so
true.
he's letting this thing survive, which I think also makes sense. Now you can push some damage to face. You can get him down to. I mean, if you used everything, you can get him down to 4, but
Yeah.
it's not really a winning strategy. You are deciding, I guess, between composting and playing a Park Panther and just tempoing. I don't know. I understand why he played the 5-on-5. I mean, it is a tempo play. It just feels like this play is also equally awkward.
Mhm. I don't disagree. So we'll see what Ked decides to do.
Don't you have to? I mean, there's part of me that feels like you have to just play for tempo here. That like you can't really play for value, even though you're most likely going to lose. That sounds very backwards, but I think that's, you know what I mean? Like
I
it's
think
like a losing play,
Yep.
but at the same time, okay. So he goes kind of. This is kind of the in between, I would say.
The ARF and ARF.
Oh, he goes face though. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, this is kind of the in between. You get some value, but
Yep.
you're not
Yeah.
necessarily super
to
committed
heal.
to the board.
They have to
They
heal.
do have to heal.
So.
But this is going to be a fairly easily clear. There's so many ways that he can do it. This probably ensures some kind of.
Alec.
Alec is interesting. Yeah, you probably just Holy Smite, Devouring Plague, heal self. Oh no, the Renew is 2. So he didn't take the Flash Heal. I was kind of thinking that this is a little bit greedy. The Flash Heal might be safer, but
Psychic Split, maybe.
I like Thrive better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
Yeah, and you probably have spells like Condemn that you're trying to dig from your deck that you still have 2 in your deck. Ugh. And this Devouring Plague. Gonna give him some value.
I want to
there.
thank Donde for his 38th month concurrent subscription, I should say, to THL. Thanks, buddy.
All right, I'm seeing the taunt bug now.
Why?
I know, we thought they
work?
fixed
What
it.
the heck? All right.
Wait. Does it work? Oh no, it's fine, right? Wait,
Fine.
is it fine? Nope,
Fine.
it's dead.
All
right.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's dead. I'm pretty sure he played the Cult Neophyte. And I didn't see it, at least on my screen.
So your mom kid first. Quick break.
That's the thing about aggro druid, honestly. Like, great deck overall, but sometimes it just feels like there's nothing you can do.
Well, you're just
It's like
playing
the worst
the
feeling.
cards. The cards are so cheap, but at the same instance, they don't have high health, so you're just kind of donating to the cause in a sense.
Well, here is the other board clear. And kind of. You're right. He can't clear everything though. He has to leave the 2/2 up. But he's got taunts.
Oh,
too bad. I mean, he's gonna make a pretty big board. He's probably just thinking about which because it's gonna be too big, right? I don't know, it'll be 5, 7. Yeah, it'll be 7 minions. Oh. So he's deciding between Far Watch Post or the Mule. I think the Mule makes sense because it can attack. Far Watch Post is just not your game plan at this point.
And then Arbor up to cause some grief.
So are we out of board clears yet? We do have Wave of Apathy. We do have a Sleepy Dragon. Yes. That by itself seems pretty fine.
I think Sleepy Dragon, this is the play. You're floating a mana, but...
Well, you can play the Wave of Apathy after that, too.
True.
And you've already seen both Arbor ups, so there's no chance of him really getting any more extra value. The biggest concern is you can't kill the peasants, so he does get some reload, so to speak.
He's got 19 cards in hand, which is probably all squirrels, I'm thinking, because he was at
Yeah, there
7
are a lot of
cards.
squirrels. There are 4 at least. I don't know if we've seen any acorns drawn, but he definitely has 4. 4 of them are acorns, I think. I don't see really another alternative play here. Trying to think of what the alternative could be. You could dig for something, which isn't great. I mean, that's the crazy thing about aggro Druid, right? It's such a strong deck. Oh, interesting. This feels very scary. What is the... Okay, just the wave without the taunt. And then life gain. Okay. As much life gain as possible. He's going to eliminate the Oracle. So I suppose this is a play where you do get to kill the Oracle, and you're basically out of any kind of death range as well. He gets another Oracle back.
Noyatron would be very disruptive, but
the problem here, and I think this makes a lot of sense. Like Heatshock's line makes a lot more sense than the line that we were thinking. Although the line we were thinking, I think, could have been fine as well. But it's just this 5/3, right? Like this 5/3 is very annoying. If he had a Park Panther in hand, it wouldn't be so bad. But having no Park Panther, is it just going to gain life forever? Like, at what point? Oh, you're just going to ignore it. I guess that makes sense. You have 2 Divine Shield minions, so they don't gain life off of them. And you're just hoping, again, that there's no clear here of any kind. I mean, last turn he did kind of show you that there wasn't a good and easy way to clear the minions.
all right.
But here comes a Condemn, because, find a card in your deck.
Bump, bump.
And
no?
therefore, no, this way you get the heal. So here comes the heal. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Draw a card. Oh, it's a flash heal. You're in business.
Heal your
Oh my god. Yeah, heal the Moonfang, because why not? Do you raise dead? I don't know if that's even necessary. I guess you can just do it next turn. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's no real point to doing that.
I think we might see.
I mean, yeah, Concede should come out soon just because both Arbor ups are gone. I think that's the win condition here, right?
Yeah.
Is getting these Arbor ups down. You're not going to be able to get much done here.
So, fortunately for a kid, the slow draw kind of worked into priests.
Yeah, I think that if you don't have the Battle Master early, oh, this is an interesting line. Not that it matters too much.
Nope.
But I guess it does make sense, I suppose. Like you're just trying to create as much value from the cards that you have remaining. A Hysteria. That's cute. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Keep healing your 6/3 friend.
Yep.
That can only get hit once.
Hey, it's a large minion.
Yep.
You have no way through this taunt, though. You'd have to play it and pass and basically give initiative over to your opponent. It's not ideal.
Yeah. We're looking at 9 tops that they can damage that 412. So
I'm pretty sure the play is, the play is just to get your bearings and start thinking about the next. I mean, I don't know. Even right now, I'd just be thinking about, all right, next game is going to be Libram Pally. Review the list.
Yeah.
Figure out what your game plan is for the next one, because this one is
another heal.
Not happening. Oh, it's a cute porcupine.
Shadow
Against all odds. That's not good.
Everything's all even. That's
Everything is even.
Yeah.
Purple, not really red.
Discover a Death Rattle minion, a Divine Shield. It's kind of cute as well.
Let's do the Call for the Grave. Here you go.
Let's look for something, anything. Just keep on healing. Yeah, you can do the Divine Shield later. I mean, the Death Battle later.
Here we go.
When you have some
Adorable
mana.
Infestation. Perfect.
So this is.
This is it.
Have you composed yourself enough? Are you ready to move on, or do you still want some time? I guess that's the question.
Yeah. Head is just going to impale. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Hero power pass.
Gonna
Your
give
move.
yourself some more time here. Ooh, there's an
LR.
Alar. That's kind of cute.
Do it.
Oh, okay. Just wants to draw. No problem. Oh, 9 mana. Sure. Let's go for it. Amazing.
on a 6.
I like it. It's now got 9 health. Effectively, way more than 9 health.
Heat Shark doesn't give a crap about the posts.
Hey, I was wondering when we'll see some educated Alec cards.
Shenanigans.
We got the Holy Smite.
Yep.
And technically, there's not lethal yet. If he hero powers, he'll be. His opponent is technically too often lethal.
All right. And there's the hero
Or
power.
do you snipe? Do you smite anything? No, I guess not. Maybe the out is. Oh no, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not really an out. Okay, that's yeah. I mean, I think I'm trying to think about what is he thinking about drawing. If anything, maybe it's Graybow. I guess that could be annoying, right? Because maybe you get some
cards in hand.
extended value.
No Graybow.
Nope. Ah, yes, the
There we go.
suicide play.
Found lethal right there. Good job.
Found the lethal. All right, so we're gonna get to the last game here, game 5.
This gets us to our favorite saying in all of Hearthstone, or THL Hearthstone, that is, which is game 5.
It's game 5.
Sweet candy. All right.
So I end up working out in some sense, going for an anti-aggro list and finds the aggro deck to get the 2 wins. Now this is, as far as I know at least, more of a 50-50 matchup here.
Yep.
The forest fights back.
The good news for the Paladin is that he does have the right list, so to speak, for aggro Druid. The 2 cards that might be a little on the dead side is the Mutinous and the Silas.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not ideal. But other than that, having the city tax, quote unquote tech, has Samuro, has Barov, has Libram of Justice, has 2 broomsticks. So again, got double rush. So that all works in his favor.
Yep.
We have yet to see Battle Guard come out for this aggro Druid in turn 2. Turn 2 Battle Guard is pretty important for this deck, and three games and all misses so far.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ked there that you don't get that big discount, so you gotta.
Yeah, I think in this matchup in particular, it's extremely important. The Libram Pally has no way really of coming back. I mean, obviously the rushes, right? Like that's the key, the broomsticks. So if you get an early Battle Guard, that could pose problems. So interesting line there. Didn't want to hero power. Didn't want to coin out the Bannerman. I think it makes sense given that Bannerman everything makes this brawler big, and then it forces you to have to clear it with the broomstick. So you're kind of delaying the size of the Bannerman, but he finally, or not the size of the Bannerman, size of the brawler.
Yes.
But he finally has to go for this play, and the follow-up is going to be kind of disgusting, honestly. You can give it something Divine Shield, including the taunt if you want. You can play Cult Neophyte to make life annoying for this coin that's still in hand. I mean, at this point, you have to assume your opponent is thinking coin something. But he does have an answer. The Barov and Broomstick play, if he uses the Og Merchant on the taunt, that is a full clear. So interestingly, the Libram Pally playing this out really nicely because he's teched both broomsticks and has the Barov in hand. Kind of wants you to overcommit here, ironically.
Very true.
And sadly, the Neophyte doesn't really do enough. But I think that's the real question here. Do you Aug Merchant the Brawler or do you Aug Merchant the Alloon?
I think the
And
Alloon.
I kind of agree. I think I like the Alloon better,
Protected.
and I like this. I like this overall clear here. Yeah, I like respecting essentially the ability for your opponent to clear. Okay, he doesn't even play the Neophyte. Oh, he does. So
Okay.
he is trying to win the game here, basically, in some sense.
So if he does top deck the Arbor up, then GG.
Right. But this Barov is it's kind of unfortunate for Mumkid here with the rush. Now he can't kill the Barov though. Unless I'm missing it. Oh yeah, he can, off the 3-1. But the Alloon survives. So it's not a full clear, but it's close.
Yeah, the Alloon's bubble gets bursted, and that is that.
Yeah, it's interesting there.
Oh, here's our mule.
I mean, I think you slam both mules down, right? That's the play. Yeah, that is going to be the play as we rejoin.
That's it. I'm leaving.
It's interesting. How do we get the first one to work?
I don't know. I think we
some kind of magic there.
We had to pay Blizzard $400 to make the mule work. So
it's worth it.
That's right. Okay, so
disgusting.
that's
game, right?
That's Top Deck Central right there. Thank you.
I'm not sure how you come back from this. Yikes. Yeah. The Aggro Druid facing some tough times. We see the top deck of Aldor Truthseeker. And
no hit.
Now you're feeling real good. All right, composting
helps.
Could give you something. Yeah.
Recharging.
Definitely helps. I mean, you still can't really attack or do anything. We're into turn 7 though. I think he has to do it, but the thought process could be, Silas feels kind of bad. But maybe the positioning 2 of Heat Shock gives away that he doesn't really have Silas because the 2/4 would be on the outside instead of the middle.
Yeah.
Ooh, so I think this is in some sense a play around Silas that you're going to attack. Wait, no. Okay. So he only uses his life. I thought he was going to attack with a teacher's pet. I was a little bit concerned about that. That seems a little bit intense.
There you go.
But this makes more sense. I mean, the only thing that Heat Shock doesn't have essentially are Librams. But other than that, he's feeling just fine with the way he's drawn here. In particular, the broomstick and the Barov play. Hey, more value. It's kind of nice. I mean, there's answers to this value, of course, but still, you got to squeeze out as much value as you can, wherever you can. Oh, there's an acorn getting some. He did get to shuffle, 8 acorns into his deck.
I like the acorns.
Maybe something, but these draws feel terrible. It's interesting. I think we do see 2 very different approaches, essentially, to pro, I guess, in general, perhaps. Like, Mumkid brought, I would say, very strong, powerful decks in the meta. Somewhat aggressive ones as well that still find ways to win, I would say. Oh, he holds the infestation. I thought that he was going to kill it off with the Satisfied Squirrel. I'm actually kind of wondering what the hold on infestation is about. What is this? Why are you saving this, I suppose? I'm not sure. Okay, he kills the that's even interesting to me, at least. I was thinking that you just ignore that because you don't want him to have a card draw. Oh, but I guess you're drawing 3 cards. Okay, that's fair. You're drawing 3 cards. You probably don't care about your opponent having card draw, I guess, if you're being really honest at this point, because you have everything you need.
Yeah.
All right, I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I think okay. I guess you're just there's nothing else you can do. You're looking for value at this point, right? So he's probably holding these for Oracle of Loons or some kind of combination play where you get more value on the board, or for example, Arbor up, right? So
Yeah.
maybe that makes sense in terms of just trying to create a board from nothing that would actually have any meaning at all in the current matchup. Maybe you just hold the infestation there instead of tempoing. But this is over.
Is a gross board, yeah. With
Yeah.
that Oracle coming down, it was like, okay.
There's nothing you can do from here.
Pupil, my bad. Yep.
Whew.
That
So the reverse sweep
seals the deal. Heat shock with the V sweep, the reverse sweep. So
yeah, tough luck there for our mum kid. I mean, on some level, the aggro druid never getting the battle guard to start in 3 games, so kind of low rolling there. But also, of course, heat shock playing those matchups really well, doing everything he needs to do in those control against aggro matchups. So, and getting just enough. I think even the priest matchup, there's some tight windows there too. So finding a way to come back, very impressive.
Yeah, so Heat Shock's agreed to jump in with us, so we'll do a quick 2 to 3 minute interview and then see what we can do for Dawn Day. It's kicking around as well.
Sounds good.
Feel free to stick around as well if you have time. So hey, Heat Shock, way to pull it back, buddy.
Yeah, I kind of this is some of the worst Hearthstone I've played in a while, to be honest.
Why do you say that?
I just made too many mistakes from like how I am comfortable playing, and your mom could punish me pretty well for it. I think.
So I think you're referring to maybe the first 2 matches, the first 2 games. I mean,
all of them were bad. I'm just rusty. I've been playing Mercs for the last 2 weeks, so it's just I think I deserved to win for bringing the right lineup, but I didn't deserve to win for how I played.
So which were the plays that you thought you misplayed the most? Like the ones that stand out to you the most where you felt like, hey, those are mistakes.
I think game 1 was fine up until the wave on my end.
Right, not playing the wave.
Right. Well, so I knew I wasn't dead there if I just hit the 3-1 with the missiles. But then like the rope was burning and I don't play a deck tracker, so it doesn't tell me how much damage is on the board. And I didn't have time to count. So I just ran out of time to figure out if I was
that there was lethal on the board, right? Yeah.
Right. And my hand was so bad, I didn't have any hysteria or like reactive tools for most of that game. So I'd gotten into this position where I was actually kind of close to death. And I didn't need to be, but like, I don't know, the missiles were frustrating because that's pretty low odds to not hit the 3-1.
Yeah, you definitely low rolled on those missiles for sure.
And then game 2, I don't think was winnable. I just that matchup's like 70-30 Warlock, I think, but I didn't get Hysteria or Nether, which would have just won the game, I think, because if the minions don't come out so fast like that, it's fine. But when you play the free taunts, like a little too early before I have an AoE for them, they're kind of dangerous.
Right.
Yeah, because if it goes long, the Warlock's super fine. But I didn't even get a chance to like the Sociologist wasn't enough because the board was so heavy early.
Yeah, he drew extraordinarily well in that matchup in particular, and he also played it well in terms of like creating a big minion and a small minion, like making some of the hysterias a little bit awkward. So you had to kind of use it in spots where maybe you didn't want to. But
yeah,
so that one
I could have set up a better clear too, right? Like I didn't need to play the Soul Shear on the Divine Shield. If I didn't do that, the AoE is actually big enough to clear that. And
I was kind of wondering about that. It seemed like he wanted to leave up the 6-1 instead of leaving a 5-6 up. It seemed like, right?
Right. I didn't think about Libram, I guess. Yeah. I haven't been practicing as much as I should, so it's kind of my fault. And then game 3, I think Warlock was fine. I took it really slow, but I probably didn't. I probably could have killed him faster game 3. And I kind of kept everyone around for a while, which I'm sorry about. But I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure why he wasn't conceding. So I was like, is there something I need to think about here? And then game 4, I think I played the priest fine, and then game 5, the paladin was kind of shaky. The broom keep is important. We did that, and I actually tested that matchup. And you're definitely supposed to keep brooms because they're so important. Like you're purely a control deck. You don't even try. Like I throw like Murger and the Bannerman and stuff in the mulligan.
Right.
Because you just need those removal tools.
Okay. And that worked out, right? I mean,
Yeah,
having
the
the
Samuro was brutal too because
yeah,
it's a really good top deck because the composting could have been kind of scary. And the
that was
Neophyte was
disgusting.
really bad as well because it meant I couldn't clear the copy guy, the 2/4. I could have coined another 1-drop and cleared that, but I couldn't because I didn't have the
No, you
coin because of
couldn't.
Neophyte.
Yeah, because of Neophyte. Exactly. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you wouldn't have had a full clear if the Neophyte didn't come down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it, on another level, like he wouldn't have been able to kill the Baroth off if he didn't play the Neophyte.
No, I just run the Broom in first, and then it pops the Baroth.
No.
Right,
I mean, because you needed your Baroth was a 4/3, right?
Yeah, it was buffed. Yeah, it was buffed.
And so, like, all of his minions were 2 attack minions, except for the 3 attack minion on the Neophyte.
Oh yeah. So yeah. I guess in that world it was bad, but I could have coined out another minion with the Rusher.
Right.
It probably would have been fine.
You would have at least killed the Oracle, but all the other minions might have survived just because you
I don't
couldn't
know.
kill the Baroth off.
I'm not sure which is better.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I guess you play the Neophyte when you have 2 mana, right? So
Yeah. It was kind of an all-in play, right? Basically, he was
Yeah.
saying either you have a clear with Baroth, essentially Baroth and Broom, honestly, or you lose, right? I mean, that's kind of what it was at that point, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Talk to me about your lineup, though. You were kind of saying, even though you felt like you didn't play optimally.
I remember. So I could have. I couldn't have cleared that turn. I don't know. The lineup was. It was. I think it was good. The Warlock's good. It's the sleeper deck that people kind of forgot about because it does really well into anything that plays for board. It's just really squishy, right? To play that kind of Warlock that can't turn around and kill people.
Right. But were you expecting Mumkin essentially? I mean, because this is like in pro, right? Like anyone could bring anything essentially. Are you basically just banking on specific archetypes here in your thought process? Like, yeah, I want someone to bring board centric aggro type lineups, and then to kind of counter that.
No, I had 3 out of 4 of his decks figured out. I think I'm pretty good at building psychological profiles on the THL players.
Nice.
I knew he would bring some kind of Druid and a Paladin and probably Garrote Rogue. The Death Rattle DH caught me by surprise so we've played before, and your Mumkin knows I'm going to counter him, right? Mm-hmm. So with him knowing I'm going to counter him, so what has he been playing? He's been playing a lot of like slower decks, right? Like Control Warrior and stuff. So that means I'm going to probably do something like Mage or something more aggressive, right? So he's probably going to bring like aggro and stuff. And Paladin is kind of weirdly good into Warlock as well if I bring that to beat up on the Warrior. So
I see.
Knowing that he's going to expect the counter, so what decks does he feel comfortable playing that he hasn't been playing? And those are some kind of Druid and a Paladin. And my lineup's it's probably even better against Alignment Druid than the Token Druid.
I think it is. Yeah, I was looking at some of the stats. It does seem like Alignment Druid is actually it's almost like you're a direct counter to that deck, in fact.
I think I direct counter Token Druid as well. The Paladin is the only one that feels
that's a 50-50 one. Yeah.
It's not it's better than that with the brooms and everything.
With the brooms,
it's like 65 or 70. But if the rest of the decks win that matchup and the Paladin can get a win elsewhere, it's probably good. Valdez told me not to queue Paladin first, which was my plan, because I thought he was going to Demon Hunter first because he's on stream and he wants to get like wins on the stream.
Sure.
So I thought he would open Demon Hunter and then I do the Paladin game 1, but Valdez talked me out of it, so I'm blaming him for that one.
Yeah, that was a similar read I had of the Demon Hunter first, given the decks that you brought. It seems like the stickiest and like easiest to navigate as he's kind of learning your decks in some sense too. Like just because I'm sure he doesn't have as much experience just because no one's playing these decks on ladder, right? So like the matchups might feel a little bit awkward.
Nobody knows how to play against these.
Exactly. So like it seemed like, okay, Demon Hunter seems like the best bring just for the first one. So it would have been impressive to snipe it out with your Paladin right there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as your mom could navigated through two matches, his Druid couldn't catch fire like it normally does on ladder. So
I think he hit the nuts pretty much every game.
yeah,
Honestly,
Well,
but that's just what if I hit the Barov with Paladin, it's not a winnable series. I think
no,
because
he
it's
didn't
too
have the
fast on
battle
the
guard.
clear.
The main thing he was missing was battle guard. I don't think he ever played battle guard on 2, right? That was the
did
main
not.
thing
Well,
that was
it didn't
missing.
matter because I had AoEs every
That's
game.
true.
True.
That's
So that
true.
whatever he does just dies.
You're right. Yeah. So even if he does have that, he can't curve out strong enough. But he was, I mean, there was a couple matches where he got close. So if he gets a little more extra damage, maybe he gets there. But then he probably also doesn't have the value to
I don't think I
keep the
got
chains
below
going.
the Paladin one. I guess was the closest, right? To
The
me dying.
priest one too, right? You were down to like 8 at one point, something like that. But nothing below 5, right?
Well, I had that big taunt. I never felt forced to play the
Right.
412
Yeah.
because I felt like I wanted to focus on the Moonfang because as soon as if Moonfang sticks, then I play the buff on it. He can never win
Right.
because
It's over.
it's too much.
It can be too
Right.
big.
So mhm.
Two
Yeah.
layers to kill. But
I mean, honestly, by that point of the game, it was already turned, right? Like you were already stabilized and he was
I
already
think
top
so.
decking. So
Yeah. I mean, I could have valued my health a little more, maybe, but I felt pretty much in control that whole time.
Mhm.
The condemn off the palm reading was especially brutal.
yeah.
I think I still would have been okay, but it was
No, that was huge because you had to silence with that condemn, right? Like it was
right.
perfect too. It just, yeah, that was pretty brutal.
The silence is so good, and it's for token druid, but actually not for paladin. The
Yeah, I
paladin
could
you
see
don't
that.
really even need it, but token druid, it like if they play the draw the composting on their board and you
Yeah,
silence it
right.
and you deny them like 6 cards,
Yeah, it's
that just
disgusting.
wins the game.
Well,
I mean, I really liked your thinking 3 steps in advance of your opponent
there you
and
go.
sniffing out that psychological profile. It feels very useful in this pro format.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I hate this meta. It's awful with the quests. I personally think, but the polarization is so high that I think it's kind of breaking
Yeah.
my play style to become OP.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I understand. But given the
But
current
I
meta,
mean, I know Dante's listening, so if we play next week, he'll have some insights.
Yeah, great. That's right. He's taking notes as it is right now. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks
Go
for
to T4.
thanks for
Go to the 4th level counter.
That's right.
Yeah.
But congrats on the win tonight there, Heatshock, and for your team there, Bread Ape. So you have yourself a great evening, and thanks for showing us what priest control priest can do for the stream.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's a good deck. I mean, it's got like three horribly unfavorable matchups in the Rogue Warlock
yeah.
and Mage, which is a little bit too much of ladder.
Yeah.
But if you get beyond that, it's kind of insane, and it's carried me in Hero. The class has, so I think it's a little bit slept on.
There you go.
Honestly.
So there you have it, folks. Don't sleep on
Awesome.
priest.
Yeah.
So, but thanks for joining us, Heatshock, and you have yourself a great evening. And
yeah, you too.
We're gonna jump on over to our next match, which is gonna be casted by some director of content guide, Donde. Donde, you there, buddy?
I'm here. Hold on just 1 second. Saving up heat shock game plan.doc real
Okay.
quick, and then I'll be set to go.
Perfect.
Just kidding. Thanks for having me here. Sorry I wasn't able, and he left. Wow. I just didn't even want to hear anything I had to say. Okay. Yeah, happy to be here tonight. Sorry I couldn't make it for the first series. Fatherly duties called, but ready to go.
That is true. So want to thank Wild9. If you're still on the mic, you can join us if you wish, or you can.
Yeah, I have to take off for dinner. So
Okay.
But thanks for having me. It was fun casting.
Yeah, no worries, buddy.
Interesting match.
It. Yeah, it was a great match. Thank you so much for casting with us.
Yeah, have fun, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do have bands in. Players are ready. So if you want to just, I guess, give our viewers the information, I will add that too.
Sure. Yeah, this is a 1 seed battle here between Robocats and Nice Jewish Owl. Robocats of Bluefish, NJO of the Wallet Warriors. This is the quarterfinals of the Legacy Series. It will be a Conquest Series, just like we saw in Pro. However, the deck lists are closed, so we do not know what the players are bringing tonight. We just know the classes, which for Robocats is Demon Hunter, Paladin, Rogue, and Warrior. And NGO has Demon Hunter, Rogue, Shaman, and Warrior. And as you said, Saku, the bans are in, which I will look at right now because I
So
lost it in our chat.
we got RoboCats as Rogue, banning Rogue. And then we have Nice Jewish Owl, who is banning Warrior. So
Yes. So NGO does not like to play against Warrior, but he does love to play himself some Warrior. So
yes.
that should be an interesting thing. You know, RoboCats obviously must know. NGO is a huge fan of Warrior, Control Warrior specifically, and opting to leave that up. Do you think maybe that has some sort of plan? There's some sort of plan here for RoboCats to maybe target that in some way?
With his brother probably giving him some advice as well, I would say yes. I would say yes. So Aviously would probably give him little tips along with his teammates. I mean, RoboCats is in the 1 seed for a reason this season, so
Absolutely.
very smart cookie himself. So I'm going to let the players know that they can start now. So
fantastic.
So the viewers are going to see Nice Jewish Owl at the bottom of the screen. That's first spectate for our casters, and RoboCats will be at the top.
And I'm just refreshing to make sure there weren't any other matches reported since last time I looked, but it looks like it has not. Wall Warriors is still up 6-5 right now on the heels of a win by Dragon Ninja over Dead Snoop 3-1, with Bluefish getting a win of Hickett over Sam C's Ghost 3-2. So that's why Wall Warriors slightly ahead. So this match will not decide this series. However, it will put one team firmly in the driver's seat for the final 2 matches to go. I don't know when they're scheduled, but within the next few days.
All right. Gotta get your image. I forgot to put your image up there, dude. Or did I do that already?
I don't know if the people necessarily need
I
that,
found
but
it.
sure.
So I got your witchy lackey.
Oh, that never gets old. That's just in style forever.
So when witchy lackey was a thing, Don Day kept on pulling that card up. So that's where the history comes in. So
Yes, for anybody who missed that that era of THL, I play lackeys or cards that generate lackeys, and it was only witches. There were no other options for me, which rarely was good. But luckily, that's not a thing here in either of these decks, as we're seeing NJO leading off with the Quest Shaman, and RoboCats the Demon Hunter. It appears to be a Death Rattle Demon Hunter for him.
that's right. All right. So I did the queuing up wrong. So getting Nice Jewish Owl first.
Okay.
Stupid caster guy. Or, sorry, op guy. All right.
Easy turn 1 here for RoboCats. Plays that Tusk Piercer, and that will give him the option to pull another Death Rattle next turn. NJO will, of course, just throw the quest out there, but he's got that Diligent Note Taker Lightning Bloom combo, which is a great, very powerful tool to get the quest moving. It's a little harder to complete the quest than it was before it was nerfed, but that is still a great step in the right direction for NJO.
Just trying to get the cams ready. So yes, we do have player cams for both players. Show that for Don Day here, so he can see the players' reactions as well. So prepare yourself for some Bunny, aka RoboCats cam.
Robo with the watch post on 2. Pretty much the only time you want to throw those down as early as possible for disruption. He just picks up the second in his deck off the top as well. An interesting option now. Does he want to go ahead and throw the second one down and just be as disruptive as possible? He can clear this 2/2 by throwing the post down and hero powering. It looks like he's going to do that first and see what he draws. I think that's the right move. And he does, in fact, pull a Razorfen Beastmaster, so he can start to get that Death Rattle chain going, as that will start to pull, well, any of the minions in his hand, really. See, NGO pulls the Guidance with the Dungeoneer, however, not a nature spell, so he does not get a minion to go along with it.
And for our viewers out there, NJO sporting a suit and tie, per se. At least
yes, very Viper-esque.
Exactly. It just came off casting another series. So we like him being nice and spiffy. So anybody wants to dress up, give her. Do it.
I mean, I can tell you what I'm wearing right now, but it is not a suit, so that is probably it's going to pale in comparison to anything that he's wearing. So
So
we'll leave it up to the viewers' imaginations.
that's right. So I'm going to disgust everybody and just say I'm wearing my birthday suit. Does that?
Well, that is definitely on the extreme opposite end of the suit, the actual suit.
That's right. Lack of suit. So, but it is a suit. Anyway, digressing.
Getting that peddler back into deck, at least one of them, so that way if the peddler gets pulled here by the Beastmaster, that the chain can continue. Robocats now has still 3 options in hand to draw, and everything for NJO is just expensive, but might just be willing to throw that Perpetual Flame out here and get rid of those Watch Posts all in one fell swoop. It will overload him for 3 crystals, and he is currently at no quest completion. So
That's right.
I was gonna say could bloom, could Note Taker bloom.
Double bloom.
Nope, he's gonna double bloom.
Double bloom note, and then flame it. Okay.
Okay, he wants the Perpetual Flame back to hand from the Note Taker instead. And this is good because he's going to immediately unlock those crystals. And grabs the 4/3. That was such a good pull.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, yeah, that was really one of the best case scenarios there for NJO to get rid of the second peddler and the first one all in one go.
Yep. As certain casters that we watch on Twitch, that was illegal. That was an illegal move. So, and
Robocat's acknowledging,
exactly. Yep. The unlimited 3/3s that are coming out. Sorry,
very powerful card.
Yeah. The 3.
Yeah, anything with the very powerful card in this matchup, the Perpetual Flame, just because it takes a while to get the minions online for Demon Hunter that are past that breakpoint where they will survive the Perpetual Flame. I mean, basically, it's the 8/8s that. And I guess if you're playing the version, I mean, a lot of them are playing the 4/4 that discounts those 8/8s for obvious reasons. You want to get the 8/8s out faster. That would survive Perpetual Flame as well, but that's not going to be coming down until turn 4 at the earliest.
I was just thinking of a scenario. If Demon Hunter's hand was large and it ended up having that, that 2-mana card that pulled the 3, that would be unlimited Perpetual Flame if Demon Hunter had everything in their hand to kind of pull. That'd be dangerous. Anyway. I think I could see if that ever happened. If it just, everything I had in my hand, it got pulled out under the thing and then just got sniped.
Well, as we know, we don't concede in the playoffs. We play it out because you never know what can happen here. And Robocat's looking at a few options off Illidari's Study. He's got the Spectral Sight, the Glide, and the Crimson Sigil Runner. So lots of draw options. The Glide, I guess, it's not as powerful here because you're just kind of giving NJO 4 cards. Two of the cards in his hand right now are already more expensive, so you're kind of helping him out in a way.
Yep.
So yeah, Spectral Sight looks like the option here. That's what he's going to go with.
We'll cut right to the chase.
Little ordering mishap there. Could have done the run into the Slogger first just to get the 1 damage. We'll see if that ends up impacting anything.
Well, you see Perpetual Flame doing its cleanup in aisle 1.
Oh yeah, here it is, and we're going to get a Prester. Lady Prester. I always forget. I don't see her played, naturally. So
true.
This is not a card that's seeing competitive play right now, but it was the best stats available off of the Charged Call, and this gives NJO some board presence here.
Okay, Beastmaster coming down, which could potentially pull another. I don't know what's better playing right now. I mean, it's a 670. You got to try and bonk off the board, but your minions are just not going to contribute like the Fell Rattler, right? So,
yeah, I think you want to make the most resilient board possible here, and both of these minions will ultimately put something else on board, be it from hand or a random adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that option because the Razor Boar, it's more specific to the lower cost cards. Obviously, the cards that were in hand were both pullable, but stat wise, I think this is the best that he could do. And we see step 2 completed now for Owl here on the quest.
Yep. And I
Ooh,
didn't see
big skull.
Yeah, that's a nice skull. That timely skull. Green
I think
rag.
the question becomes: do you want to bonk the 3/3 with your minion first, so that way it doesn't pull something discounted out of your hand? I think that's probably the right way to do it, and then save the 8/8 for next turn.
Yeah. Go.
He's gonna
see what
gonna
it pulls.
pull first.
It's pretty good. Even better. Another.
Well, you just
skull.
play the cultist for free, so yeah, that's what you're gonna do to avoid a 3/3 pulling that out of your hand.
There you go.
So this now guarantees the Fell Rattler is coming down, and yes, he can clear the board this way.
Ooh, there's nice poison. So this gets rid of the 6/7.
If he wants to, he can hit the 6/7. It'll pull the Fell Rattler down. Fell Rattler rushes in and does the 1 extra damage. So it would be 7 health exact. Just kind of debating here as the rope winds down whether or not to send it face. And he sends it face. All right. Yeah, I mean, when in doubt, the face is the place. So 6/7 is still going to go through the 2/4. As we know, Perpetual Flame is still in hand because he has 2 in his deck.
I was just going to
And
say,
Owl will, yeah.
Unlimited Flame for Nice Jewish Owl. So.
And with that overdraft in hand too, Owl is like, please just load me up with all of the overload. He can play this Earth Elemental here, then coin out the overdraft and just absolutely tank damage. Oh no, he's gonna use the Feral Spirit instead. Okay.
Yeah, I thought Earth Elemental would have been a better choice there, but like you said. Okay. How far away is he from procking his? Yeah, he's 1 turn away, so maybe.
Yeah, he's gonna get it next turn for sure. But Blackthorn is just the highest leverage play that you have available if your Robocats right here. Does free up the Skull of Gul'dan as well.
Ooh, nice double Neophytes to make that overdraft play a little bit weak.
You can't Fell Screamer here. I guess now you're sitting wondering, well, okay, we've seen every Perpetual Flame in anyone's collection on the client. So at this point, you probably feel pretty good about your board sticking in some capacity, depending on what like if there's any tech cards or anything that Geo's running. But I don't think that there's anything to be too concerned about here. Yeah, he's just going to go absolutely as wide as possible.
Yeah, smart play. So we'll see. How big is Charge Call? 9 cost right now.
Yeah, it's a 9 cost, and Overdraft is going to clear up all of the overloaded mana crystals here. So it's going to cost 3 because of the Acolyte, or Neophytes, rather. I apologize. But Feral Spirit will come down to just continue to be disruptive.
Yep.
And that will complete the quest as Brucan is now active for next turn, and it will be able to be a Brucan Charged Call turn as well.
Okay. Green Rag. Free to play right now. Not free, I should say, but.
Ooh, that Kurtrus is very, very intriguing.
The Skull is not really going to get you much. You only got 4 cards left anyway.
Right. Yeah, you're not. I mean, at this point, the game is either ending in your favor here in the next 2 or 3 turns, or you're about to get overrun by the double cast spells from Brucan. So I think at this point, Robocats wants to go ahead and try to get as much damage to face as possible, and at least put himself in a position here over the next few turns to close it out. Unfortunately for him, with NJO having Tidal Surge in hand too, that also gets double casted, and that will help him stabilize after this play here. Yep, here comes the Kurtrus.
Big Green Ray comes down.
I was trying to figure out, how do I get damage to face, and this is how you do it.
Boom with 8 damage. We got NJ Owl. Had a concerned look on his face for a minute.
He could have used the rush effect of the 8/8 there to get a little bit more damage to face. Probably saying, I want to have as much health on the 8/8 as possible. I don't know if it's necessarily that he just missed it. Though it's not going to matter particularly here because Tidal Surge can just clean that 8/8 right off the board. Though we know there's got to be 2 of these in deck, so there's a 25% chance he's drawing another one next turn.
Revolve would have been good as well, I would think. Oh, there's the green rag. So
there it is.
What is it? 6 plus 10.
Yeah, it's not nearly enough, and with everything that's in hand, I think this last gasp here will prove to just be short, because he's going to hit 8, 10, 12, 15, 18 to face, gets down to 7.
Yeah.
And then once the Chain Lightning is played, Storm Strike is played, Charge Call next turn, I mean, it's just going to be locked out at that point. RoboCats does know that the only option he has right now is to just keep hitting the face.
Yeah, I think trying to ding the 2/2 is not going to work, but Charge Call, double 10/10s, Colossus, easy pick,
yeah.
another Scrapyard Colossus. Even Dark Rabbit would be good too, but
I think he's got enough spells in hand to go ahead and clear this board. He doesn't need it. I mean, he can put the Chain Lightning down on any of the minions and clear off 2. He's going to use a body to clear off another one. Storm Strike will finish off.
Hey,
yeah, I was going to say there's double. Yep, RoboCats. RoboCats will concede, seeing that there is just no way that he will win from this position.
Okay, so that makes Nice Jewish Owl up 1-0 for his team.
The power of the suit.
Power of the suit is what we'll call it.
I mean, as the great Deion Sanders once said, if you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good.
Hopefully, all you youngins wrote that down. If not, you can Google it. All right, so we got Nice Jewish Owl's favorite class versus
predictably Control.
Yep. Versus RoboCat's Rogue. So Rogue is looking like a weapon.
Poison Rogue. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm liking it. Nice choice there, RoboCats. We'll see. Bulwark kept. Nice Jewish Owl expecting some kind of antics.
Unfortunately, RoboCats picks up the second weapon, which you really don't. My goodness,
hey.
the third weapon. How many is he running? It must be 4, I guess, because sometimes, I mean, some of these builds, they only have like 2 tusks, or 2 swine tusks, 2 self-sharpening swords.
Yep.
The redundancy is obviously great because more chances to draw a weapon, but in this case, we're seeing the downside, which is more chances to draw a weapon when you've already got one. So very unfortunate.
All right. So what's the odds of Weapon Rogue versus Control-ish Warrior here? Or not even ish, it is a Control Warrior.
Yeah, it's absolutely a Control Warrior. That is a good question here. Let me hit up our friends over at HS Replay.
Stop.
Shout out to HS Replay.
So, yeah, drawing 3 of your weapons right now, while good, is also bad.
I guess the question becomes, what does he want to play next turn? Well, maybe, we see the Restored Viper, maybe it's good that he has multiple weapons, because it's gonna get eaten here.
Yeah, what's up? Here, throw this down. I think I'd throw the self-sharpening myself down. I mean, you're gradually...
Since you have 2 of those, I think that's probably the smarter play here.
Yep.
Because even if it does get eaten by a Viper that we, obviously with Caster Vision, see, you have a second one, so... You just play it, you swing with it, and nothing really terribly lost in that case. I mean, it does put you down mana-wise, but ultimately, I think that's probably the safe play. And to answer your questions, is actually a favored matchup for the Poison Rogue. It's 63%, a little over 63% at Legend since the balance patch. So about a month's worth of data on that. Okay. And I mean, it's such a polarizing deck with its its matchup spread. Some games it just auto wins, like Questmate is like 90% plus, whereas others it's just an automatic loss, like Secret Paladin. So it's really polarized, and this is one of those very, very good matchups for it. So this might be what we were talking about, where Robocats knows NJO is gonna play that warrior. It's probably gonna be control, and I need to have something that can just bash it. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, I think.
Yeah, and I think with control, it kind of needs some minions too to also kind of do what it's supposed to do, which is get rid of the opponent's minions, control the board, but it doesn't have anything to hit.
For what it's worth, too, Control Warrior very bad against Death Rattle Demon Hunter, so it does look like that might have been the strategy for Robocats. I don't know, obviously, what his remaining deck is, or a specific archetype, but I think that might be the route he's taking here. We might be looking at 3 Warrior games to see if it can make it through.
Yeah.
There's the Viper, NJO getting rid of the Swine Tusk, Shank, and now just the 2 self-sharpening swords in hand for Robocats, but we say just as if that's not an abundance of riches in this deck for this matchup.
Oh, favorite card, Provoke.
Also known as, in this matchup, trade me for a minion.
That's
or
right.
Trade me for another card, rather. It happened to be a minion. As it was being drawn, we see Mutanus, which will also just be a 7-mana 4/4 in this matchup. Because there is maybe a Guild Trader in this deck for Robocats. Maybe that's what's cut for the second self-sharpening sword. I don't know yet. But that would be the only minion, and you're really only seeing that minion when you're also seeing your death as the opponent. So Mutanus might hit it. It's very possible because it will sit in hand forever if that's the case. But that's probably not a risk that NJO wants to take unless he has literally no other play.
All right, so Secret Passage coming through. Some Garrote mixed in there. Okay.
Yep, another added little extra piece of damage that goes with that Guild Trader very well. Hey, there's the Guild Trader we just talked about.
Speak of the Guild Trader.
Yeah, you get like a mini contact rogue minus the contact, of course. Turn, you get to the end of your deck and you play that Guild Trader down, you draw your Garrotes, and that's 4 times 6 damage. Math escaped me for a second there. It's 24. Math is hard on the fly, but yes, that's usually what it's there for.
All right, Robocats just going straight to the face like it's supposed to. Bleeding the cards that they got in hand.
Yeah, getting rid of as much as possible to thin the deck, thin to win, get you the buffs, and he's still got that extra draw in hand now too.
Yep.
With the cutting class, so he's doing a good job of setting himself up with the tools that he needs. But NJO sees that he needs to really stem the tide right at this point. Gets that bulwark down now.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is if he doesn't throw it down now, he's looking at a lot of trouble. But
now Robocats is really hoping to draw those Garrotes, the bleed specifically, of course, to go ahead and hit the bulwark for the lowest amount of damage possible, and not hit the weapon into it.
And not waste mana, of course. Right.
No bleed yet.
Cutting class kicking in. Wow.
Those bleeds are high. Another swindle. Yeah, you put the Guild Trader back in first before you swindle, since it's the only minion in your deck. It's a guaranteed draw.
Yep. Swindle.
He's just going to keep churning it. He's content to, I'm sure, just sit there with the weapon and not swing if he doesn't pick it up.
Another trade.
Yep, trade both of those back in and keep trying to find the bleeds.
Give me them bleeds. Throw that in there.
Nothing yet. Impressive.
I don't need no bleeds, man. Instead, I'm going to hit you for 5, but I like the idea of just throwing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think
should have traded first, maybe, but
I mean, the odds obviously he was never going to. There's a bleed. Hey.
Opa.
He was never going to clear the entirety of the weapon, unless even if he drew 3 straight bleeds, it was just not going to be enough. He would have had to swing at least once anyway, so I don't mind the swing there.
So what comes down for NJO, since maybe Fresh?
I mean, hopefully for him, his blood pressure after that turn, because that was a long thing to have to sit through there. Just
That's
hope
right.
that your shield just stays up. But he just plays Barov. I mean, Barov is in this matchup a 3/2 because there are no minions. Like we said, there's just no minions for it to hit. So you might as well play something and give yourself at least a little bit of pressure. You don't want to play Crash there and overwrite your Bulwark just in case a Coerce does come down and blow up your last 2 charges of the Bulwark.
That
So
never
I think
happens.
that was.
I don't know what.
Oh
You're
God,
talking
no, absolutely not.
about. on top deck, yeah. What's up? Splash.
He also has the option to Rancor it as well, should he want to give himself just a little bit more armor. Didn't want to do it that turn because you can just get the 2 armor by hitting the hero power button anyway. I guess he could have minefielded if he really wanted to clear up some hand space.
I'd probably save that Sinister Strike myself, but
yeah, Secret Passage, maybe find the bleeds and just hard play them is a possibility here.
Trade. Oh, okay.
Right out of time. See what pops up. There's a Cloak of Shadows. Second Shank.
There's a bleed.
Gonna trade that right away. Oh, he didn't trade it. He used the Extortion to kill the Barov.
And then
he will swing.
Shank. Yep. Silas is gonna just, do the merry-go-round on nothing.
I like the turn there. Like Robocats, I guess you could have used the Extortion as a trade piece instead. However, just getting rid of the Barov minimizes the pressure from NJO, knowing that there really isn't a ton of pressure. The deck is just trying to run you out of resources, obviously. Mm-hmm. And Robocats knows, again, just like last game, he's already down to 3 cards here on the 9th turn of the game. And at this point, NJO is effectively at 31 health, so he's up above where he even started. I know this deck can put out a ton of damage very quickly, but not that much.
Not looking at 31. So that other, what was it? I'm trying to think of that self-sharpening sword. So he's only used 1 so far, right?
Right. And I mean, the real advantage to, like, when you're looking at the weapons in this deck and looking at what weapon is the best in this situation, self-sharpening sword is the burst. It's going to obviously increase in damage, and if you can pump it up with some deadly poisons, it gets to absurd heights very quickly. And that's what we saw in previous metas. And then the Swine Tusk Shank is for the sustained, I want to be doing damage for 6-7 turns in a row and never have my weapon break. It might not be as bursty, but that weapon's never going away unless the opponent breaks it. So that might be kind of what Robocats is looking at now. He says, I'm going to need to be doing damage here over multiple turns. I don't necessarily need the burst. I need to keep doing damage even if I'm in fatigue. So That's why you go with the Shank here and not necessarily use the sword. And he's going to bump it up as much as he can. But Mutanus is going to go ahead and eat another burst piece, which is that Guild Trader. So that is gone.
Delicious. This is 10 damage that Robocats is looking at.
He does have the Cloak of Shadows, one of them in hand right now. He's got a Coerce as well. So he can get rid of this board. At the very least, the 7-8 needs to go away. That can't be hitting you over the next few turns.
So what cards does Robocats have left? He's got another Garrote. And the sword.
The Garrote is in hand, so there's 1 bleed left in deck. So one of the 2 cards is a bleed. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Yep. So he's got that in deck still. I would say the other one, through the other Extortion, maybe the second prep if he's running 2 preps.
Yeah. The preps, he got prep in hand. He already used 1 prep earlier, so this is, I think,
okay. I'm just trying to figure out what I have not seen. Maybe he's got second Sinister in hand. Used both Wicked Stabs already. Yeah, not 100% sure yet what that last card could be.
Anyway, we'll find out in a second.
Very shortly.
Don't change that tile. If there is a tile on your monitor.
Heavy plate, easy, immediate play from NJO. Just go ahead and negate the damage you just took, and now he gets to kind of turn the table a little bit here. Again, 33 health. You don't like to see your opponent's health going up as the poison rogue.
Ooh, okay.
And there's the bleed. So that last card is second Cloak of Shadows. That makes sense, of course. Yep.
So I was trying to remember that that snake that ate the self sharpening. That's what happened. Okay. Like early on. Cloak of Shadows.
Not much else to really be done at this point. Just can he burn him down? Can he burn NGO down before he runs out of health?
Karagath has no friends to hit in the face. What? Here we go. Self bleed is on.
So now I wonder if you are Robocats here, do you tactically kind of hold on to that second cloak? Because you might not want to play it right now. Might want to save it for a guaranteed lethal turn. I think, yeah, Garrett comes down. And, yeah, I don't really see any...
You trade it in there just to hold it. Yeah. Okay. Bleed. Bleed some more.
What? I'm almost out of cards.
Perfect information here now for NGO. Knows exactly what's left in hand. Knows what he has to avoid. No, and well, I guess he doesn't have to avoid anything because Robocats is going to go ahead and concede. And this might be very, very bad for him because we now see a lineup that was targeting this warrior, and the warrior got through in one game.
All right. What does that mean that NGO has for remaining Death Hunter? Or Death, yeah, be Death Hunter.
Death Hunter, yes.
Geez, Demon Hunter. God, my terminologies are bad tonight.
Yeah, we'll see what archetype he's running there. Robocats brings out the Paladin, so we effectively have seen all 6 decks in this this matchup so far. It's a Death Rattle with a Mage Hunter tech.
Okay. So NJO
And a Libram
up
Paladin.
2-0. This quarterfinals match between Bluefish and Wallet Warriors.
Robocats does have a lot of the really key cards in this matchup, or not this matchup, just in this deck period. He's got that Aldor Attendant on 1, which not getting played. Not sure. Sure, there's some reason for it. I think he wants to buff it with Bannerman.
Bannerman buff.
That must be, and he's got a handful of minions right now. So this is going to get very, very, very much like a lot of value right now because everything's a minion. We're drawing a minion, so 6 buffs. Oof, and Barov.
Barov gets a little taste of the buff.
Barov is usually the one you don't want to buff though, because you want him to be lower health,
right?
To easily kill him off. However, usually you're going to go ahead and rush him in with some big chungus on the other side. So odds are it's probably pretty low that's going to matter, but you just would rather have a different minion get buffed there.
I like the little, like you mentioned earlier, the Mage Hunter tech that's in this deck for going up against.
It's very useful in this matchup for sure. Clear off some Librams, absolutely.
The Crescent is just another added bonus to get your minions clearing off other sticky ones. Yeah. True aim coming out.
Yeah, and Geo churning that deck, making sure he's got options here going to the next few turns. Robocats, this is kind of the awkward turn. He's like, 1 mana short of being able to play either the Truth Seekers, which you'd love to be able to play now, but probably just going to go ahead and hand him a doll just to draw, see what you get.
I was even thinking of just bumping the 3/2 and then bear off, but I guess that would be.
I think that's just too much commitment to a smaller board. I mean, you really want to save that for the green rags. I think that's the better use of it in this matchup.
Agreed. Yep.
Oh, the Libram Wisdom was humongous because now he can trade into either of these and it does not die. So it's going to be at least 2 minions. Oh, and NJO popping that Mage Hunter being like, I know what I'm doing next turn. If you play this, and he will. Has he played the Libram Wisdom? Did I spectate Bug?
He just played it. Nope. He just
Okay,
played it now. So.
I spectate Bugged, so it's just hovering on my screen. So I'm going to need to leave and come back real quick.
There, folks. Mage Hunter coming out. Nope. Razor. Well, it's turn 5, so yeah, Razor Boar. And Devouring Ectoplasm being played instead for NGL. It's interesting they put it back into the deck. Because once Libram's played, anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Truth Seeker come down right here.
Yep. Nice buffed 5/7.
And then a free Libram on top of it. This might be the spot where the Mage Hunter comes out. Robocats might not mind that so much because he's can immediately just start healing this next turn, or play the Truth Seeker if he feels like he has one more turn that he can wait on the heal.
Yeah, I think Mage. Now does Robocats? Sorry, does NJO have 2 of these Mage Hunters in his hand, or is it just 1? What are you sacrificing for both the Mage Hunters to be in the deck?
I would say probably like a Fell Rattler, since a Fell Rattler has the rush option.
Yep.
It kind of fills that same role in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fell Rattler, if you feel like you're going against wide board classes, wide board decks, you probably want that in the deck instead. But where if your opponent's going tall instead of wide, which is obviously Libram Paladin to a T, Mage Hunter is fantastic. So this just shows good planning here by Owl to kind of predict, like, there's no real super wide Paladin decks unless it's a hand buff Paladin. Those are chunky enough anyway that a Fell Rattler is not too crucial in that matchup. So yeah, that could be the Mage Hunter replacement. I would say that's probably most likely. Could also be the 2/4 that heals the Quill Boar.
Right.
The Death's Hand Cultist.
Yep.
Yep.
Cat's feeling he has to heal a little bit. Here is the yellow rag, we'll call it.
And that was a very good pickup here because now he can play the Raging Fell Screamer in tandem. And yeah, just gets rid of the 8/6. This is a lot of pressure for Owl to be putting on Robocats. We do have Barov in hand, but no way to immediately pop it, which Samuro is is there a buff? There's no buff in hand, so that's kind of an unfortunate draw there.
The
Probably
mount,
just a
Noble Mount is a buff, isn't it? Oh, give minions. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Give a minion +1. I mean, it's okay. It's not gonna. Yeah, I guess that clears most of the board. Yeah, it's not gonna clear the 4/4 off.
Right. Robocat's thinking hard, and I saw his reaction there when the Mage Hunter came out to give the Ancient Guardian a little kiss, a little nudge, a little reminder of who they are and what they do. Aldor drops the.
Yeah, it only drops the Libram to 4, so you can't play that in tandem with the Truth Seeker. Yeah. It feels like playing the Libram plus the Devout is safer, but he's gonna play the Noble Mount instead. Yeah, that's a pretty good turn. You feel pretty good about that. Unfortunately, there are a little bit of there's a lot of options here for Owl to go ahead and get rid of these shields in a pretty non-threatening way.
Ray
Down
gonna
comes-
handle it
yeah.
6-8. And I think that's lethal.
It sure is.
And that
is
what you call a sweep, gents. Boom. Wonderfully mastered play by Nice Jewish Owl. You want to tech against my warrior? Then here's what I got for you.
Can't tech against skill, unfortunately. there is that inherent advantage that a player who has played a deck, an archetype, so many times will know instinctively how to navigate situations a little bit better than somebody who is less experienced with it. I know that's a pretty basic statement, but I think it applies here pretty well.
Okay. Nice Jewish Owl is able to join us for an interview, which is great. Chalk out. Sorry, he chalk. I know. Buddy. And we got all right. Good day, sir. All
Hello.
dapper and spiffy for the
Thank
stream.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to dress up. It's a big occasion.
I know, man.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
And not only was it a big occasion, a big win in that sweep there. I mean, very impressive. Well played the whole way around for you. Didn't see a whole lot of negatives on RoboCat's side either. So just kind of outplaying. It looked like he targeted your warrior a little bit. Did you think that might happen?
I wasn't fully sure he was going to target the warrior, but I definitely expected Weapon Rogue and Death Rattle Demon Hunter. So I was not surprised by either.
And I would ask if you would practice those matchups, but I know you play a ton of Warrior, so I'm sure you just have played those matchups over and over again and just know exactly what's going to go on. That was a very key moment there where the Mutanus ate the Guild Trader. So you had to know that was obviously a 100% hit of that minion, because if it's in hand, that's the only minion in deck. You're getting that gobble there that just takes away so much top end damage. Was that you just kind of waiting for the right moment to play the Mutanus there?
Yeah, definitely. I was doing some hand tracking, so if any of those turns he had played Swindle, he ended with the Guild Trader, I would have been coining out the Mutanus, because not being able to essentially go rogue combo takes away a lot of the potential burst from that deck. It's like right as I was getting near the end, I was doing the math, and I was like, well, if I Mutanus the Guild Trader, I win 100% from here, because I think the cap was like 31 over the next 5 turns, and I could get above that threshold. If I didn't Mutanus the Guild Trader, I think I still won with the heavy plate, but I might not have won without it.
Yeah, between that and eating the early weapon, the first shank was very, very disheartening. I mean, as a poison rogue, that's not what you are looking. You're looking to roll that weapon very early. You might go back and watch, or if you were hand tracking, you might know he had 3 weapons in hand on turn 1, which is really not ideal for the deck. Too many weapons are also bad in that matchup there. So it also helped that he didn't have the explosive draw there to start the game.
I mean, I think, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think saving the Viper that one turn and not immediately playing it on the shank, like getting rid of the first Silver Leaf and then him sort of wasting the second Silver Leaf, really slowed down his burst potential as well.
Yeah, I did love that pause on it, because like if you're the poison rogue, you usually see that as, all right, that's my license to go. I didn't get my weapon eaten. I can go ahead and commit to it, and then now that you've committed, so you played that. It was like a little bit of a bluff there. I think that was really, really well played.
I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to show off the rogue, because I was doing a bit of testing. I brought Garrote, but instead of some of the normal Garrote cards like Kazakus or Wand Thief, I have double Frozen Shadow Weaver in there, because I was doing testing, and it's not good against anything else, but against Weapon Rogue and Death Rattle Demon Hunter, it's really good.
Absolutely. So that Mage Hunter was the talk of that final game there, where we were, very good in that matchup too, because you were able to eat the Librams. And what did you replace? Did you say what you replaced for the Mage Hunter?
So that list is a little wonky. I'm sure you also saw the True Aim Crescent, and that's not normally in there. In Death Rattle Demon Hunter.
Yep, that's true. Not always included. Yep.
So I cut both of the Fell Steels for True Aims, and then one of the Fell Rattlers for a Mage Hunter. Because one of the things my team, we were testing Demon Hunter mirrors a bunch, and Kreen plus True Aim is like the turbo nuts in the mirror, and it's also really good at a Paladin. So I didn't end up drawing the Kreen, but I think the True Aim did put a decent amount of work in that game.
I was just gonna have a dad joke, and that would have been the cream of the crop, wouldn't it? But that didn't happen. Okay, I'll shut up now.
So taking more of a long view here, as far as the series is concerned, this gets Wallet Warriors. I think you were up 6-5 already, if I'm not mistaken. So now you're up 10-5, which is pretty strong position here with 2 matches to go. When are these remaining matches happening here in this series?
That's an excellent question. Let me check very quickly. I believe Mojo Powell is playing later tonight.
Okay.
And if my team's in a position where we just need Mojo Powell to win and we win the week, we're usually pretty happy. And then
MVP caliber season out of Mojo for sure.
Yeah. And then Tavin and A2 are a little up in the air because if Mojo Powell wins tonight, they don't need to play.
Right.
But if they do need to play, it's going to be sometime tomorrow, as far as I know.
Well, I'm sure you guys would be happy with a weekend off, so to speak, and just go ahead and start looking forward to the semifinals. And you've put yourself in position to do that with this win tonight. So congratulations. Anything else that you'd like to say about the matchup, or anything else, in regards to the season as a whole?
I mean, just a big shout out to my team. I know we started off the season with a loss, but then we had some really, really strong weeks, and then we sort of started losing near the end. And I think putting up a big week in playoffs is really, really going to motivate us. And I've been very happy with the prep work that my team has put in, with the caliber of play they're doing, and I'm hoping to get a shirt.
Absolutely. Any team coming out of that Silver Conference, even if you look at the points being a little bit lower, the record might not be as strong as some of those other conferences. I can say from first-hand experience, Silver was definitely a strong conference this season. So you guys getting even to the playoffs is a feat in and of itself. So teams should definitely not look at the point total and the record and underestimate you guys.
Yeah, Silver is not free, folks. Silver is not free.
Yeah.
So you're on notice. Thanks again, Nice Jewish Owl. Great game tonight. And
thanks for having me on it. Thanks to RoboCat for playing on stream as well.
Yeah, happy he jumped on stream and got you guys both showing some style there with some ties and some snap plays. So it's great.
Have a good evening.
You too.
You as well, sir.
All right, now we're on to our third match, Donde.
Yes, we are.
Where is it? This is the third match.
Well, it is another Legacy quarterfinals match.
In the Gold Conference.
It is. It is Geranium Battle versus Bone Masher, I believe.
Yes, and I have bands. So I just want to
Right.
roll through the classes real quick, and I will tell you the bands.
Sure thing. So Geranium Battle. This is a 3-seed matchup here. Geranium Battle of Agent PLE and the Light Showers is a Druid, Rogue, Shaman, and Warlock. Whereas Bone Masher, Captain, and member of All Pros Missing. Actually, this is a double Captain battle. Glossed over that. 2 captains going at it. Bone Masher is Druid, Paladin, Warlock, Warrior. And right now, just like the last series, they are 2 games in with a 6-4 lead for Agent PLE. Nails fell to Cheesy 2-3, and Canoe beat Sharp 3-0. So it is 6-4 in favor of the Light Showers. So what do we have from Band Saku?
Starts with a Warlock and ends with a Warlock. So both players banned Warlock in this.
Interesting.
So
Okay, nobody likes Gul'dan. That's
Nope.
unfortunate. I like Gul'dan.
Me too. Like one of my favorite classes to use besides Mage, which was atypical, I guess, for starting Hearthstone players.
Well, we're not going to see any mage here in this one, but we will see a pair of druids, which I mean, aggro druid, the taunt druid has been the most popular druid, but I think celestial could work its way in here.
Yeah, just depending on, I guess, on the player's comfort and if they like the aggro druid / taunt druid, whatever you want to call it. We've seen tonight, unfortunately, sometimes taunt druid just doesn't draw what it needs to draw, but with the lineups, what do you think? A taunt druid or celestial druid likely?
I mean, I haven't looked at the exact spreads. I would say taunt druid is the more likely of the two, just because it's very straightforward, a little bit easier to play, and it has so much high roll potential that it can effectively just win any matchup if you hit the right cards in the mulligan. So if you're looking to be on the safe side, I would say that's probably the way to go. Celestial is more, like it's disruptive. It's disruptive to the combo decks, things like that. Warlock being banned kind of tells me that maybe that's not the way that they're going to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just told the players to rock and roll. There may be some cams, may not be some cams. I know Geranium can't do cams, so there's that. So Bone Master is going to be your first to spectate, which I could see his eyeball right now. And Geranium Battle will be on top. Or Natura Beast, whatever you want to call it. There we go.
And I'm immediately proven wrong, as this is not a taunt druid here for Bone Masher. We see double Staring Ward and an Overgrowth, so it's going to be a Celestial Druid. Meanwhile, a Quest Shaman for Geranium, which we have seen tonight already in the previous series.
There we go. I've never played Celestial Druid just yet, and I'm not that smart for it. So while I understand what the deck does, I'm myself as a player, I just don't have confidence in using that deck. But I like what it does, which is get there as fast as you can just to get 1 cost mana cards to disrupt.
Well, there is the card we were speaking of, Celestial Alignment. And yeah, there's the two major points of this deck. The two major, most important things to know is A, when you should Celestial Alignment, of course, and B, how to go off with the Anacondra. So there are, cards in the deck such as the name escaping me right now, the 4 mana, make your minion a taunt. Make a copy of it as a taunt, whatever. It's basically the engine of the deck for, makes the Anaconda turns go. And that... Did I lose somebody here?
No, I just closed the window. Sorry, that was
yeah,
showing a nice Jewish owl. So
gotcha. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's that. That's the basic premise behind going wide and making a huge board. But knowing in what matchups you need to go ahead and get that combo online as fast as possible, and just stick a board and win, versus knowing how to disrupt your opponent's flow with Celestial Alignment is really where the deck is it's the hardest part to learn about each individual matchup.
Right. Okay. We got Geranium Battle still hasn't procced any quest ticks yet, but
nope. But he has a couple things,
yeah. Can get ramping up pretty early. I've seen some people just skip playing quest on turn 1 once in a while, just so they could go off on the next turn, I guess. I don't know.
Well, once he saw the Best in Shell get traded, Germination, that's the card. I was trying to remember the name. I knew it started with a G. Out of practice casting and playing, I guess. Once he saw the Best in Shell get traded in, that kind of signals to Geranium what he's up against, and it's not a taunt druid with a really bad hand. Mm-hmm. It's a druid that wants to to take its time. So
it's a slow rolling druid. So,
and then the Overgrowth, if there was any doubt, the Overgrowth defeats that doubt completely. So Bone Masher is doing what he needs to do to get the mana quickly, but he's going to need to put something on board, and out pops the Guff Rune Totem. That's
Interesting.
it's very good in Shaman. If you've never popped it out of a portal, it is very, very good in Shaman because a lot of your spells are nature.
Speaking of nature, there's Nourish.
Yeah, that's I mean, not a great draw. I mean, Bone Masher probably needs he's going to need to draw more, but he's got nothing that he can really do right now outside
That's
of
right.
either Nourish for more cards or just play Celestial Alignment to see if he can slow this game down. But that slows you down pretty dramatically too. So, not a real great spot to be in.
Going for the Nourish and draw 3 cards.
Yep.
Yeah, good choice.
Does get a Cenarian Ward, which means he can next turn Cenarian Ward and Lightning Bloom Germinate, which would give him a board. So that is an option.
8 damage looking at the other side.
Oh, it's
Could
going to be more. It's
because
going to be
of
more.
The nature. Yeah, I'm just trying to find what
Yeah.
the nature cards are.
He's got Rockbiter weapon in hand. Runic Carvings is too expensive this turn, but yeah, just Rockbiter right now.
Oh, I thought it buffed everybody, but it's just random.
No.
Okay.
God
Imagine
forbid.
that.
God forbid. It would literally be game ending on the spot. I mean, it's already pretty much the nuts out of a Serpent Shrine Portal. So if you have a board, like this, even 1 or 2 minions on board, it's so devastating. And now we have, Solar Eclipse might have been the best draw on the deck, though, for Bone Masher. Because he's about to gain 16 armor and get 2 8-drops.
Oh, and a very good 8-drop there.
Very good 8-drop.
But it's going to get dispatched pretty quickly.
Well, the good news Bone Masher can't know is that this shuts off Runic Carvings.
Yeah.
So he can't use that this turn because it is too expensive thanks to the Taint Heart Tormentor's aura of opponent's spells costing 2 more. So that is good. However, we can see a Canal Slaughter come down to just whack it if he wants to. That plus the 2/3 would clear that off the board, would reduce the spells back down to their normal cost, and he could do like investment opportunity and see what he draws.
When you just said whack it there, I just thought of the bop it machine. Whack it, bop it, twist it. Okay.
A classic game from
That's right.
From my youth at least. I don't know how popular it was up in Canada.
Oh, it was pretty popular. I never owned it myself, but friends of mine did. So
we're gonna see Dranium just send it face.
Yep.
Just gets rid of almost all the armor gain from last turn.
What armor gain?
12 damage, 12 health left for Bone Masher, and really not a lot of options. Probably see the Lunar Eclipse come down, hit the 3/2. I'd imagine to start with.
Stop the big damage for spells. Obviously, get that out of the way.
Yeah, I would say we're gonna see. We're gonna see Lunar on something at the very least, and then probably Germination into Arbor up, just to get a board presence and to at least. Nope, I see Arbor up first.
Saving Germination, maybe.
I guess it doesn't really matter what order you do it in, because you're summoning a copy of it and then you're buffing it, or you're buffing it and then summoning a copy of it. So, does he want to
double Arbor? No. Okay.
He can't double Arbor. He would love the mana for that, but it just does not work, unfortunately.
He did have Bloom, right? Oh, anyway, that's fine.
He would have been 1 short with Bloom. He would have still only had 4 mana that turn, so that's fine. I mean, this does put at least something on board and a taunt, so it's going to eat some effort here from Dranium. Though Marsh Spawn is a pretty big pickup. Actually, potentially lethal pickup. He could also use Fireheart to try to find like Devolving.
Yeah. Or Revolve for that matter. That'd be
or Hex.
Hex is dangerous. Let's see.
Hex is also a nature spell for what it's worth.
Oh god. Perfect. Throw the Hex on the 8/7.
Still has taunt, but also not going to eat a minion.
Can't play it this turn, but Totemic Reflection might be okay for the 4/5. It's not going to stick around anyway, but Spores? What would you pick here?
Yeah, I'd say either Spores or No Fin. I mean, No Fin's a little cheaper, and right now the game plan for Dranium is to burn down, but that's kind of an air draw for Bone Masher as well.
Solar
I mean,
Eclipse Celestial. Do it.
He can armor up and make everything huge, but still die. So
yeah,
that's not a great feeling.
Exactly. Not a great feeling indeed.
Yeah, even if he clears off everything but the Guff, that's still 2 damage to face. He would have to hero power to just avoid death from the Serpentine portal in hand. But we know with No Fin can stop us, that would give the Guff an extra 1 and just negate the hero power. So ends up being just enough for Geranium to win this game.
There we go. We get to see
the only play that Bone Masher can make.
8-5 into the 4-4.
Yeah, you take out the 2 biggest minions, and then you pray that you get there, but we know that he will not. I mean, he'd win next turn if there was a next turn.
And there it is. The well played.
Yep, the No Fin Serpentine combo.
Yep, there we go. Oh,
just a little extra. And we get to see the second stage of the quest proc to just add a little bit of extra time to this game. And a 1-0 lead. We've seen the Quest Shaman twice tonight, and it has won twice tonight, though in very different ways.
Nothing there for Geranium Battle and Light Showers there. This Conquest series, just in case people who have not played in THL before, this would be Conquest format, which means player wins with that particular deck. Can't use it again. 2 more matches. Best of 5.
And that leaves Geranium with his Druid and Rogue, because the Warlock was banned at the outset. So Druid or Rogue going to be queued up here. Interesting to see what he will decide to do, knowing that the Druid is Celestial for Bone Masher and not a Taunt Druid.
You think Bone Masher comes out with Paladin? Does Paladin match up with some good with Rogue and Druid?
I think we might see Warrior, to be honest. Okay. If Geranium does have the aggro Druid, the Taunt Druid there, the Warrior's a better option for him, I believe. He says without having looked at the numbers.
Question mark? Better? Question mark? All right. The mystery will be solved in a scant few seconds.
Yeah, it is 64% against the aggro Druid, so yeah, it would make sense. And that's exactly what we see here. As long as the Druid is an aggro Druid, which it is. So hit it exactly. Bone Masher got the exact matchup that he wants.
Okay.
Some good early cards there for Bone Masher 2 with Brawl. Not an early card in Brawl, but Armor Vendor is early, and Brawl is a huge counter to a post-Arbor upturn for Bone Masher. Geranium doesn't really have the ideal start. Like the Guardian plus the Bone Chewer is fantastic, but that's a turn 3 in a deck that wants to be already overrunning you by turn 3. So I would think that he would probably pitch this entire hand. Maybe keep the Bone Chewer.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're vibing here, because that's way better of a hand.
And speaking of vibing, a little bit of Squirrel comes down, and then we see the Battler come down next turn for Nature Beast.
Turn 1 play plus follow up with the Razor Mane is really exactly what you're hoping to do.
Good.
We're gonna get spec bugged. Awesome.
No, we're not. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Don't do it, Geranium. You know how to do this thing, man. Come on. Just messing with us. Here we go.
Well, he wasn't going to play it before he plays the Battle Guard.
Hey, why not? Just to get our goat, that's all. Battle Guard coming down. The left one or the right one doesn't really matter. Bone
I think
Masher.
I think we're bugged.
He's hovering.
Okay, I can tell if he might be trolling us. It's very possible because he knows that will cause a spec bug. But yes, this play you play the pack mule because your opponent saw the pack mule when it entered your hand because of the proc. So you get to hide the information of the Annoyatron being in hand there.
Yep. Okay. So Noyatron gonna come out?
No, I would say the second pack mule probably comes out just because again it's known information, and this is the point where we get spec bugged.
Yep. We're getting spec bugged regardless. Just we don't have to do it twice. Hey.
Make that Razor Main slightly harder to kill.
All right. Still thinking. Unless she's got internet issues, which I don't see any.
I think at this point, you've seen what this deck is when you play turn 1 Armor Vendor. It's obviously control. He's probably thinking, how do I not overcommit into a board clear?
Here we go.
Well, spec bug is one way to end our fun.
Hey. Please hold the line. Our viewers will be back shortly. Back in. Yep, there's a big blade storm that fell down to get rid of some annoyances.
Yeah, like I said, he's just trying to avoid, I think, the an easy clear for Bone Masher. I mean, Coin Brawl is another option going into the next turn, so you still don't want to overextend. Like, if he plays a second Battle Main here, which there's really no reason to, that would be very, very bad, because it is almost certainly going to result in him having no Battle Razor Mains for the rest of the game.
So why wouldn't you just, I guess, even just hero power and just punch face and don't worry about it? Like, don't worry about playing cards.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you still have to play to your win condition, which is to
Blood.
just overwhelm. And at least if you put a minion down here, the Annoyatron plus the Argent Squire, it's at least signaling to Bone Masher, like, you have to respect the fact that this card sitting in my hand could still be an Arbor Up. And if you don't brawl or have brawl, you could just basically lose next turn. So I think it's a little bit of mind games here. I think it's just like a little bit of bluff. Just say, like, on Geranium's side, to say you have to respect that I have it even though I don't. Oh, he's gonna hold back, it looks like.
Okay.
That's another way to play around the brawl. Obviously clearing the opponent's minion, taking away any percent chance of a winning brawl. But at the same time now, Bone Masher probably doesn't feel compelled to brawl because it's not as threatening a board as it would have been even after an Arbor Up. You're only taking 13 damage, so it's not lethal. I mean, you can just heavy plate yourself out of range here or Shield Maiden, and now that has to be respected. We're basically back to square one where we were last turn with a stronger minion for Bone Masher.
Yeah. All right. I think you got to play. Okay, Annoyatron is probably the best one out of the group.
Yeah, Annoyatron here. I mean, I guess putting down the brawler there at least kind of defends against second Bladestorm, because you won't want to play that. Not that he'd really want to play Bladestorm into this board anyway. It's really terrible. He wants Defile is what he wants if we want to go back a couple years in Unban Warlock, because that would be fantastic in this board right now. But that's not we're not playing Wild, so you can't do that.
That's right. Bone Masher playing pulling Defile right out of their back pocket of Warrior. So.
Yeah, that would be a very impressive strategy and also very legal. I think we second illegal joke of the night.
Yeah. Ba-dum-bum. Okay. Bowmaster comes down, doesn't expose anything else. Bear off.
More board clears, but yeah, this is I can see a situation here where Bonemaster says like I just got a brawl.
Yeah.
Because now Arbor Up is lethal.
I totally agree with you on that. Basically get the first card out of your hand.
I should say Arbor Up isn't lethal, it's one off lethal right now, plus an Armor Up would counteract it a little bit. But I mean there's enough possibilities that like Dream could get to lethal with an Arbor Up, so you just don't want to tempt the fate, I think, on that one.
Looks like he's opting for a different spin.
I'm just gonna heavy plate, and he's really doing a he's really testing how far you can really take the like playing greedy in this matchup. I mean, you do want to marshal out your resources in terms of board clears, so I totally understand. But it is just very, very scary to just continually leave not only a board but a Razormane Battle Guard out there for Dranium. But maybe this is like the second level mind game. So now Bowmaster's sitting here saying like, I don't have a board clear. Go ahead and dump your hand.
That's
and
right.
then the second he does, he gets popped. But we're sitting 6 turns into the game at this point, and the odds of the Warrior drawing some form of board clear beyond that Blade Storm we already saw is pretty high.
Yeah. We're in a 1 in 5 chance. Is that right?
I mean, it's pretty high. There I would assume 2 Rancors in this deck.
Yep.
There's a Barov, there's 2 Brawls, and we see 3 of those cards already in hand.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, even beyond that, 5 cards out of the effective 26 in the deck of board clear. So it's like a 20% chance that your opponent will just have a board clear, a single board clear.
Here it comes. This is where we're going to see a brawl, I would imagine.
Yeah, this is the time for it. Now the opponent has played 5 minions, has 2 of the highest value minions in the deck. Just straight up, the Oracle of Elune plus the Razormane Battle Guard makes this deck do really dirty things. So you want to get rid of this, and Brawl is the best way to do it. You're hoping neither of those 2 minions live, but you can just live with, there's the Razormane just never dying. I think the worst case scenario would have been the Oracle living, because Geranium could have played a second Razormane behind it and done dumb things. Obviously, Bowmaster doesn't know what we know with it being in hand, but yeah, this is fine. And this is a situation too now where if you're Geranium, you saw that brawl and you think, all right, what are the odds of a second brawl? Let's go.
Yep.
And Bowmaster has it. Oh, and he picks up Blade Storm with the Barov.
So that, I don't think clear, right? Because it hits the bubble first and doesn't kill anything.
Well, if he Barovs, in this case it would not clear, but if he Barovs, he could clear this board. But he also has Brawl, he has Venomous Scorpion, he has a lot of options. Looking at what's on board, that's 7 mana, or I'm sorry, 7 attack. You're not dead, most likely here. And then Bulwark of Azzinoth means you're definitely not dead. So he can just Bulwark and Hero Power and kick the can down the road, which he's going to do. And, Drainey's been holding that 1 card in hand since turn 3. And there's an Acorn. So if you're Bowmaster, you're starting to wonder, what the heck have you been holding that you just have not dropped? And Arbor Up is the most likely scenario, but there have been situations where Arbor Up would have been decent. So maybe he is not as worried about getting OTK'd from that position because he doesn't think it's an Arbor Up. And, the way your opponent has played has led you to believe that it is less value as a single played card, which in this case it is. Obviously the Battle Master, you don't want to just play that by itself.
Right. So is this going to be the Lord Baroff Blade Storm turn?
I mean, you could just shield slam it. You don't even need Blade Storm anymore.
Hero Power Shield Slam? Oh, for the 4/4 you're talking about?
No. I mean,
Oh,
you
okay,
could
right.
shield Samiro and Barov, and it'll leave the 1/1 up, but that's fine. Yeah, he's gonna Blade Storm instead and clear the everything and leave the Barov up. Yep. I kind of like holding on to the Blade Storm there just because it's so versatile, and there's a lot of times where the Druid will go wide on board and everything will have a very similar health total.
Mhm.
But that's fine. I think that's an okay decision there.
Geranium. Kind of still waiting for the other. Who we're looking at?
He's got
Oracle down.
second Oracle. I mean, any taunts would be nice.
Yeah.
Like a Grey Bow would be very good for at least putting something potent on board that needs to be dealt with in a very specific way to not have it go off. But Bone Master now has options with his first Venomous Scorpion. He picked up the second.
You do okay.
Yep, picks up Shiver because he's got. I mean, he's going to very much overkill this peasant. Like, this peasant did not need to die that brutally, but it's going to.
Here's a Grey Bow if I ever seen one. So
yeah, now's probably the time. I think if you're just dumping your whole hand at this point to give Grey Bow the most opportunity to hit something.
A couple turns ago, I think you're waiting for that Arbor up to kind of float
Right.
top deck, but you missed.
And that's what happens with this Druid sometimes. I mean, if you don't stick a peasant early and just start drawing through your deck, if you don't pick up composting and again draw through your deck, you sometimes just end up with turns like these where you're in the middle of the game or in the late stages of the game and you just don't have really anything to do.
Yep, you're just one carding it to death.
And your one card is going to, by and large, be lower value than a Control Warrior's one card, which we're seeing here. Even though Bone Masher only has 3 cards in hand, he still has card advantage in this matchup right now.
Oh, Minefield.
Not really the best in this situation. I mean, probably see what you get off Venomous Scorpion and see if there is a way to go ahead and clear the back 2 minions. I mean, you might just Shield Slam the 2/3, honestly, and then Minefield and hope you hit the 1/1, because then you can Venomous Scorpion into the Grey Bow, and this game is pretty much over.
That's right. That might be a good plan. So,
I mean, it's a risky play. It's not a 100% guaranteed play.
hoping it hits.
He's going to Shield Slam. No, he found the 100% play. Yeah, you Shield Slam after. Yep, no, that was good. Take a little bit longer. I'm a gambler. I'm prepared to make that that high percentage but not a guaranteed play, and that is absolutely not the right idea there. So congratulations on being smarter than me. This Mutanus will never eat a damn thing because there's never going to be a card in the Druid's hand ever again.
No. Oh,
that is not a top deck that you want to see.
So he's going to keep it. So there's Mutanus's favorite.
Am I about to be immediately proven wrong? Because that would be terrible.
Drum roll, people. Drum roll. Is Donde going to be wrong this turn?
I mean, you play the Mutanus. Obviously, it eats the horror anyway. I am so wrong. I love that it took all of 30 seconds for me to be proven wrong there.
Where's your witchy lackey now, buddy?
Oh, man.
Yep. Oh, well. Bound to happen.
Yeah, he's just holding on to his cards now to hope against hope that there's some way to combo into like a sizable board, pull off an Oracle of Balloon, and then just manage to keep the board from there. But Bone Masher just has this game well in control.
Less Rattlegore, which could come down.
Acorn.
Oh.
Ooh, Park Panther. I mean, he can Park Panther in clear the 1/3, I guess, with his face. I mean, it's not
6/5 B. Anyway.
I mean, you're not gonna kill both here. Is the problem?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit stuck.
I mean, if you run the Park Panther into the 6/5 and then use your face to clear the 1/3 and put the Annoyotron down, at least it would clear up the 6/1. But I still don't see that being enough to really turn the tables.
Time waits for no one.
Okay. What say you, Geranium? Tank. Okay.
Setting himself up for a next turn, Park Panther. That's fine. He's just trying to find a line that gets him there. But like I said, I don't think there is, unfortunately, a line that really will do that.
Hey, there's a line. It's a longer line.
That line is written in the sand at the beach, and the tide just keeps washing it away. Unfortunately,
That's right.
There's the composting, and yeah, you can dump hand here for a couple draw, and at least clear up the board. This is like the smallest glimmer of hope.
Yep. Hey, look, an arbor up. Nope. Hey, look, I want an arbor up. Nope.
Well, second composting. Drinking was probably like, I would love to be able to just play a card right here, but composting's not it.
All right. Trade the plates. Rancor comes down.
It clears this board again.
Face tanks the one damage.
Shield Maiden, a great draw. Just immediately get to put that down and have something to pressure. Acorn time.
Like, not anyway. It's
so the Acorn actually makes it so he can't play the Guardian Hawk Merchant now.
That's right.
Because he will immediately have to kill the 2/1 or give the 5/5 Divine Shield. Neither of things he would like to do. I guess you can play the second Squirrel Compost and then ping your 2/1. Like ping the one you just play, so that way at least you put the Acorns in deck.
Yep.
I guess.
Nope.
No,
He decides he's going to be generous.
Okay.
Gonna pop the bubble. Yep. Okay. Nope.
No, you definitely do not want to put your face in the 5/4 and accelerate the end of this game. Absolutely not. I mean, I guess maybe you want to get to game 3, but that is not a good strategy.
Oh, Kargath. Not going to kill it, but
say Rancor is more than fine here. Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
Well, that Acorn's dead to the Kargath as well.
God, some stinky cards there. So this would be the 4th time tonight that we've seen Druid, aggro Druid fall on his face. We have a chance to restart the client here.
He's going to spec bug us for no good reason. What a jerk.
He's just giving us some grief. Thanks, Geranium. All right. Teacher's pet.
Yes, this is a hand dump.
Another mule.
And spec bug.
Okay. I'm leaving. That's it.
I'm not even returning. No way I'm coming back.
All right. Holy, what happened to the board? It grew. There we go.
In between games, I'm writing into the THL rules that Pack Mule is a banned card.
Yeah.
If you agree to play on stream, you cannot play Pack Mule.
Unless you fix it. You teach Blizzard how to fix the spectate bug. Ooh, that's a good card
minion
for removal. Old fell rattler.
And here comes the brawl.
You're hoping Shield Maiden sticks around.
Oh, it did not.
Yeah.
Kargath did, though. So we are going to see some face damage right away. Trades a heavy plate for a heavy plate. Trades a heavy plate for a
Hey,
Rattlegore. Much, much higher value.
There's our good buddy Rattlegore.
Yeah, if the game wasn't over already, it is very much over now.
Hey,
They're
there we
going
go.
to see a double Boat Druid Brawler. All right. So the patience pays off for Geranium as he finally hits a combo with the
Just-
Oracle.
Yeah, just 8 cards left in your pile. Yeah, no biggie. It's all good.
Another Park Panther in there. Another Teacher's Pet.
Yep. Another, well, we didn't see any Arbor up, so there's all kinds of Arbor up. Love.
True. 2 Arbor Ups. Yep. Oh, let's just rip that Kargath Prime right off the top.
Yeah.
Why not?
Nope.
He doesn't need the armor. Rattlegore is fine.
Hey. Wouldn't this be something if it was a Arbor up? 2 Arbor ups floating out of there? That would be hilarious.
I mean, with the Kargath Prime in hand, the odds are still so very low that Druid ever gets there. But, I mean, that's what he needed to draw. And basically, like you said, he needs to draw Arbor Up and Arbor Up to have any sort of chance here.
Kargath, bump, Rattlegore doing a 2-3.
Yep. Maximize the amount of stats you're taking off the board because you have no idea what's popping out of the 4-5.
Yep. Do we have some more? Oh, gosh. Okay. So
Still no Arbor Up.
Arbor up bottom 32 cards. So
As I say, because there's 2 Acorns in deck. So there's
Yep.
3 cards. 2 Arbor Ups and I presume a second Park Panther.
potential reverse lethal? No. No chance.
Oh, the Vol'jin
is dead.
Goodbye to your taunt minion.
There is fire.
I was wondering what he was looking for in the deck, but Vol'jin is more than reason to keep trading those cards, and that is a 2-0 for Bone Masher right now.
One.
Oh, it is. No, it is a 1-1. I'm sorry. That game took so long. I forgot what actually happened in game 1. You're right. It is a 1-1.
I had to
so-
double check there on the main page. Like, oh,
You're right.
Okay, it is 1-1. All right, good.
Yes, it is. It is 1-1 with Bone Masher now having Druid and Paladin, which we know is a Celestial Druid. So we know we have a Celestial Druid and an Aggro Druid, but we don't know what the Rogue is for Dranium, and we don't know what the Paladin is for Bone Masher.
I'm guessing Libram Paladin, which has been a thing
Mm-hmm.
for Bone Masher, and I'm gonna go Rogue Dranium, and I'm willing to bet at least a subscription on it.
Ooh. Yeah, Libram is not ideal into Aggro Druid as far as, I mean, there's not really any Paladin. It's the best of the Paladin options into
Mhm.
Aggro Druid, so you might not want to rip that out this time here. But I mean, Anaconda Druid is far worse than Aggro Druid, so there's really not a good. I guess Paladin's probably what we're gonna see from Bone Masher. Either way.
Bone Masher to figure out which one he wants to come out with, since he's seen Aggro Druid and what would match best. Biggest chances on Rogue coming up. Can't see that. I can't see Rogue coming out. We'll find out in a second.
Yeah, almost certainly Paladin here.
Yep.
It is. But it looks like Handbuff Paladin because we see City Tax in there. And this is not. I mean, this is not a Libram Paladin for sure.
Hey, so somebody has a subscription.
Samuro, fantastic keep in this matchup as
Yep.
well.
But Varian gonna go back into the pile.
Mm-hmm. I would say most likely ends up throwing the rest away. Why does it keep City Tax? I mean, there's definitely a case for it. It's not. I've gotten into trouble keeping city tax in this matchup. It just doesn't. It feels like it should do well because a lot of low health minions for the druid, and obviously lifesteal is good, but I've run into trouble. Oh, it is a Libra Paladin. Never mind. Juked twice.
Hit faked. So city tax. Well, attendant is definitely coming down this turn. Oh, why do one?
Which
Why not both?
which attendant?
Yeah.
Which attendant?
The left one.
I cannot wait to read these.
So we get to dodge the immediate spec bug fail, thanks to the encumbered pack mule being in hand at the start of the game, which is not ideal for Geranium because you don't get 2 in that case. You only get the 1.
There can only be 1.
And a great pickup there as Geranium picks up the free brawler, which he can then immediately aug merchant, and has a pretty scary board right off the jump here. The only question becomes, what do you adorable infestation? I would say probably the Razor Mane.
Mm-hmm. If the Oracle was on there, you buff that, I would think. But look at this board. So now we're
Partial
digging.
trade. Oh, the animated broomstick. I mean, it's not going to be that helpful right now, but Samuro is in hand, so that is nice. But no buff, so it's kind of like a 2-turn removal situation here for Bone Masher because he can use city tax. Oh, he's just going to go ahead and get rid of the 4/2. Okay. So he could use city tax this turn, then Samuro next turn, and clear up most of the board.
Probably Libram with Justice, Coin, City Tax.
Yeah, that's probably what he was working towards for next turn here. I think that's probably the safer route.
And this is just going to make Geranium sad.
Yeah, because if you do that, then next turn you have the True Seeker on 5, and that's pretty much game over.
Oh, sad panda. So Samuro could probably.
Well, you want to heal. I think you want to heal.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Just because Samuro can hit anything you want later on as well.
Where's your board now, Druid?
In his deck still. Oh, Teacher's Pet. Definitely one of the better cards to draw with no board on 5 and very few cards in hand. So at least it does give some board presence back. But now True Seeker can just come down. It's going to get buffed by Libra Wisdom, and that is still a very tough thing to break through with 1 minion for Druid.
Ooh, there's a loon.
You're not super high power, just playing a pair of 1/1s rather, and your hero powering here. So it's not a very good feeling.
Pupil. Do you Justice and Pupil?
I mean, you could Justice and Samuro, and
True.
Yeah. Extra Salt in the Wound is it is a stealth minion that will die anyway.
So yeah.
High value. Another Teacher's Pet.
Not gonna last long, but at least they'll have a sticky minion that comes out. Oh, look at that. The Libram of Get 'em.
Yeah, it's going to get immediately corrupted when the Devout Pupil comes down.
Do it.
Could actually, I would say you could play both If you kill that, get the Libram back. Hit the.
Oh my!
It's the low roll.
Ultimate low roll.
Yeah, if he wisdoms the Samuro here, and then plays the pupil, he gets to play both, and it's corrupted. It's just overwhelmingly against the Druid at this point.
Oh, he didn't. Yeah, good enough. There we go.
Yeah, but he can't swing with it. He can't swing with it anyway.
So we found out the secret.
Ah,
Gotta have an empty hand.
wow. That actually, yeah, it looks like that'll be okay.
Actually, Wild 9 and I experienced your mom kid actually. I think game 2, where the first pack mule was face up. So
I see. I didn't get to watch in the stream until game 3, so that makes sense that I did not know about that.
the Blizzard, there's a fix. Just get a permanent fix. Know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
just
Okay.
chaining the buffs.
Hey, why not? Just throw that on there too. What the heck?
Really trying to get value out of this this hammer.
Yeah.
Make sure you get every whack. I don't think it's going to matter, unfortunately.
Nope. Tough night for Uranium this turn.
Yeah, aggro Druid in general, just not seeing the best results right here.
I mean, the first couple turns would have tilted me into. I know this is playoffs, but it would have tilted me into into conceding just because there's no real fight back per se.
Mm-hmm.
But playoffs are playoffs.
Oh, we got spec bugged anyway.
Did we? Right. That's it. I'm leaving.
Boy, it really wrecks with the flow. Seeing the Libram come down right as we come back into the game here.
And there we see it. All right, Bone Masher getting through. So 2-1 for APM right now. Not sure if there's any other games that have finished. Checked.
Pop a quick check on it.
Oh, they're jumping right back in. So
there is another game finished, actually. Yeah, Shibaka with a win over Eternal, 3-2. So this is out an 8-8 series. So even though 2 of the games have gone for all pros missing, they're 3-2 wins, whereas the win for PLE and the Light Showers was a sweep. So it's still a tie, even though it is a 2-1. So technically, APM, if Bone Masher wins here, we'll have the tiebreaker. And Bone Masher, going back to that Celestial Druid, as that is the only deck he still has to win with. And he has Anaconda in hand, which is usually great in any matchup. It's it's what makes the deck go.
Yep.
So he's got that, and he's going to keep it, and we'll see what else he ends up with. And if Geranium can get in the damage before the Anaconda goes crazy. So if the results hold here and APM does win this, Bone Masher does win this 3-1, we'll say that would put the series at 12-9, which means that even a win for the Light Showers would still only give them, enough to get to 13.
Mm-hmm. So
they would need to sweep the remaining series, which would be PWE over Avi. If that was it would have to be a sweep in that case. So if Avi just wins one game, then APM would have the tiebreaker in order to advance into the semis.
All right. Not much to play in this turn, unfortunately, for Bone Masher.
No, it's probably going to be the case. I guess the debate is: do you coin out and kill the peasant there with
I think
your
you
power?
have to. Yeah. I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah, because if you leave it up and it ends up getting taunted, like behind a taunt, it just draws Geranium's entire deck for the next few turns.
Yep.
And it would not have. We see in the hand that there's not an option there, but Bone Masher can't know that.
I guess Geranium's just wondering, do I... Yep. The answer is yes. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, the big punish here would be a Lunar Eclipse, which is not in Bone Masher's hand. So it ends up paying off here for Geranium, taking the calculated risk. Well, I should say it pays off for now, but Nature Studies could make that point moot as well. It's a Bog Beam.
Bog Beam is 2, but yet... Oh.
Yeah, I mean, how committed to to using your Lightning Blooms to Bog Beam a 2/3? Oh no, Geranium! Why are you spectator bugging us every game?
All right, so definitely one of these mules is coming down.
This man is banned from stream. No, you probably play Teacher's Pet, honestly.
Teacher's Pet would be probably a better option. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, I'm all for concealing information, but Teacher's Pet just might be straight up the strongest. Though he might want to go wide. Yeah, Vibrant Squirrel plus both of the Pack Mules, and here we go, Spec Bug.
There's no such thing as a Spec Bug. I don't know what you're talking about. All I got to do is just quit the game. There. Easy peasy.
I now can no longer spec Geranium.
That's good because he drew another mule. Joking.
Oh, did he really?
No. You might as well just stay out, Donde. Yeah. All right.
Well, now it's letting me spec. Okay.
There we go. Okay. It's got Adorable Infestation, Teacher's Pet, and Park Panther. So things are looking up for aggro Druid right now so far.
Yeah, Bone Masher is missing the one key component, which would be that Germination, in order to at least get multiple Anacondas and taunt them on the board. But he'd really like to pair that with some draw, so he can just kind of go off in his deck. But it might not get there in time. The Fungal Fortunes could help.
Question mark.
If he's not dead next turn, that's what, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14 on board that he can see. So as far as he knows, he's dead to Arbor Up. But, Arbor Up is not in hand.
All right.
I mean, half the Fungal Fortunes here to start with.
Hey, why
Picks
not?
up second Fungal.
And a Best in Shell to trade. Overgrowth, not worth it. Can't play it anyway. With natural mana.
Yeah. I mean, you can double Lightning Bloom to play the Best in Shell, but that's essentially conceding. Because it's going to get chewed up, and you're just going to die the next turn or two.
Yep.
Because you can't do anything after that for an entire turn. Your next turn is just dead.
That rope's burning again.
So what do you do to combat this much damage coming at you right now? 3, 7, 8.
I think you're trading the Best in Shell, and then you're praying that you... Or, nope, he's...
Hey, there's our mule again, you son of...
I mean, the other thing, too, that I find interesting is he hero powered there, but he's got a full hand. So next turn he's going to draw a card, and it's going to just get burned. So there's nothing that he's going to top deck that's going to save him because he's not getting another card next turn.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah,
I think
the default concede.
Yeah, that felt like not the right play. I mean, Best in Shell, obviously you're trading a card to get a card, and you still would have a full hand, but then you could always innervate and then hero power, and then you'd have at least a free space for a card.
Let's see if near Claw Machine. Okay.
I mean, honestly, probably the best Spurn in the deck because it was never getting played this turn. Yeah, he has to go all in here, Lightning Bloom, play everything, and just hope you kind of run your way into what you need at this point. Yeah, Anaconda comes out. Fungal Fortunes finds Lunar Eclipse.
Glowfly.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, can't play Cenarian Ward. It's not cheap enough. Toss the Best in Shell back. Maybe you get something again. Like I don't know. I would say I don't know what saves you. I guess like if he tosses Best in Shell back and ends up getting the Germination, you then have a cheaper Cenarian Ward for you were dead. It wasn't gonna work.
So that brings us.
I'm just running through it in my head. There's just nothing there.
There ain't nothing. Ain't nothing that you can pull out, but stuff. So that brings us down to our favorite words in all of THL. Game 5.
Yeah, get those game 5s in chat. Use those chat points.
Yep. Game 5, this right to the ground.
I can't do it right now because that would be a spoiler.
Yeah, you can do it right now.
I mean, they would know that we're going to game 5 10 minutes from now.
And then people would be pissed off. Yeah.
People would be very mad at me.
Spoilers.
I would owe more than a few subs at that point, I think. So we'll see Celestial.
Game 5 with Rogue.
Looks like Garrett Rogue.
Garrett Rogue. See?
Because I see no quest and I see minions. So that takes Quest Rogue out of the equation. It takes Poison Rogue out of the equation. So Garrett it is. And Contact in hand right away.
Nice.
It's what you like to see as Rogue.
Double Garrote does not make you feel good.
No, you'd rather those show up a little later, a couple turns from now, when you're drawing half your deck in one turn. Octobot would have been much, much better because you got that Guardian Og Merchant in hand too. So
yeah,
if you can draw into the Og Merchant, or if you can draw into the Octobot here in the next turn or two, it'll be pretty smooth sailing, I think, for Dranium this game. Bowmasher, knowing what he might be up against and thinking armor could be good for me here with the Moontouch Amulet.
So you needed Octobot? There's Octobot, dude. Pass.
Yeah.
Smart pass there by Dranium. Gonna coin Og Merchant afterwards to make the Wonder Twin powers activate, per se.
Honestly, knowing what he's up against, knowing this is not an aggro druid, you might even just dagger and save get a discount on as much stuff as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. And I think that's more than reasonable here. The alignment is a very, very good card in this matchup for the Druid. It can single-handedly botch everything they're hoping to do. It cuts all their mana down, and it makes everything cheaper, of course. But at the same time, if you use both of your Octobots too quick, and then you can't discount your hand to 0 completely, it can completely ruin your game plan at the end of the game.
Right.
So that might also be a consideration for Dranium. Maybe just hold that Octobot until you see your second, or until you see Celestial.
Hey, guess what, Donde?
What's that?
We don't get to see any mules this turn.
No, we do not, thankfully. Our days of leaving Spectate and rejoining are over, at least for tonight.
For this game, anyway. All right, so Dranium really thinking hard on whether he's going to commit that Octo in Og Merchant turn. And looks like he is. Or...
Okay. Not going to use the Guardian. Okay. I mean, I guess, think about what ways can Bone Masher clear the Octobot, and that Moontouch Amulet is that way, but that is not something you can plan on. Obviously, having it be just hard run in the deck, because every other card would have only done 3 at most. So, Dranium made a very calculated decision, and it did not pay off, unfortunately, for him.
I don't think he made an incorrect decision. It was just more of a.
Sure.
I don't think and Druid doesn't typically have a clearing card like that, and
Yeah, he went with a high percentage play, and it just happened to backfire spectacularly, unfortunately for him, because Bone Masher was prepared for that exact situation. Not only does he now have armor to last an extra Garrote, but he gets rid of the Octobot with that 4 damage. So it was very, very well played there for Bone Masher. Good foresight.
now do you coin and Og Merchant your 3/2?
I think he wants to coin something to. Yeah, I think probably you got to hit the field contact because you got no Shadow Step in hand. So, or I mean, no, you do have Shadow Step. So you can Shadow Step it instead.
Okay.
And make it cheaper next turn. Yeah, I didn't see him grab the Shadow Step there, so that is a much better play.
Yeah, I just did that. I saw that myself. It's like, oh yeah, just Shadow Step, and then you finish it off. Good job, man.
Sometimes we get there as casters.
We does. Celestial. Smells like it's coming down this turn. Nope.
I mean, still could. Yeah.
We are all connected. From humble.
Yeah, with Nourish in hand, you can give Bone Masher the immediate advantage to start pumping up his mana, and then you can place an Aryan Ward as well. It's definitely the right time for that. Now he's very, very clogged hand here for Geranium. Everything 1 mana and only 1 mana. You know, looking for that Octobot. There's the Octobot, though.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's the downside to the Celestial in this matchup is that Octobot is about to make that entire hand just like Silver Conference in Legacy. It's going to be free.
But there's reports from an agent that silver is not free.
Yeah, you can't believe everything you hear, man.
All right. Guess the weight. Cenarian, double Cenarian Ward getting cast.
Yeah, just trying to get yourself out of Garrote range, and oh boy, the Arcane Devourer is going to be very, very tough to remove if it lives past this turn, because that is going to grow and hit Dream in the face repeatedly. So he's going to have to figure out a way to make this turn work and also get rid of that 4/8 if he can. And we're about to see a lot of card draw.
Nope, freeze is good. 1 mana. Got to slow his roll for a minute.
I mean, having the free Guild Trader plus the free Garrotes in hand are both phenomenal, and I'm sure you'd like to wait and do all that together to maximize damage. That's a heck of a pickup right there, that Prize Plunderer, because he's played what so far? 1, 2,
4,
3, 4, 5 cards. No, 6 cards already. This is it's dead. Very, very big. Needed that pickup.
Shroud of Concealment would be good too, but you can't play anything.
I mean, it just gets fewer cards in your deck. Like, I would be fine with that. Swindle also fine. Gonna Prize Plunderer to at least make the Terralion a little bit weaker. Oh, there's a Cenarian Ward, another one,
and another one.
Problem here is now that that field contact is just gonna die. It has to.
Yeah, that's priority target.
So you're hoping as Geranium that, I mean, he I think is almost a guaranteed draw of the field contact here if he plays the Shroud of Concealment, but he's got to.
He's not going to trade that Guild Trader in there, that's for sure.
No, that's staying in hand. It's free forever. So yeah, you're keeping that in hand until.
And you can't.
Yeah.
I was going to say you can't passage either.
No. So he had the two Ethereal Og Merchants still in deck, and the 1 Guardian Og Merchant hits those instead of the field context. That's kind of a low roll. It's about a 50-50 flip, I think, for what was left in the deck.
Neophyte coming down again. See that 2-1
making hand space.
Yeah. See that 2-1 smack the 3/2, I would think.
Yeah, I would say yeah, you got to clear it. Yep. whole lot of armor to get through so far. It's 52 health,
Yep.
which is not something that Garrett Rogue is equipped to deal with,
Even with the buffs, it's
even with the buffs.
ooh, claw machine.
Claw machine gone.
Would have tapped that 3/2.
Yeah, might just play the best in shell here. He will put some taunts in the way and make it so that you can't bounce the neophyte back to hand there. Picks up a preparation, not as advantageous when it costs 1 mana.
A smart play there by Bone Masher to throw that best in shell out.
Yeah, I like that here. Yeah, the only way the rogue gets here is if he can do repeat damage to your face with minions, and that's not possible with 2/7 taunts in the way. There's just nothing really in this deck that's equipped to handle that hasn't already been played. Both Prize Plunderers are out there. One Shadow Step has already been played, so you can Shadow Step the second Prize Plunderer, sure, but it's not ideal. Just gonna Secret Passage.
That's interesting, but I guess okay. There's your contact and your
Yeah, Wand Thief maybe gives you another answer. You can Penflinger too, just to get it on board.
I'm almost out of
Nope, and use a Swindle. Just gonna try to draw.
kill that 6/3. Yeah,
Takes the
orb's
Runed
good.
Orb. Yep, why not? Flame Strike is not bad, but yeah, Runed Orb is better, I think, in this situation because you're going to need to find a little bit more gas. Now he's back to hand full again.
Yeah, so what's he afraid of burning contact, field contact here, right?
Well,
Or doesn't really care.
Not really. You don't really care. You've got 2 cards left in deck at this point, so
Oh,
you probably want to burn the field contact, honestly, because you don't want to overdraw yourself to death.
Oh, true. Yep. Burn yourself into the ground. Arbor
But
up.
we're about to see a big board.
Yeah, with Arbor up as a friend. $4 million points on the board, as Lorinda may say.
Yeah, a number greater than your opponent's health. Burns the prep instead. 1 card left in the deck, and yeah, this is I don't see any way. I mean, he's gonna have to go off this turn. So you're probably Aug Merchant, Shadow Step, Aug Merchant again, Shadow Step. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, you're gonna try to buff this up as much as possible. I just don't think there's enough damage here.
You're paying for my discretion.
Not gonna Shadow Step for the extra spell damage. He's gonna need to second Garrote, and then you Swindle, because you're gonna draw your field contact and one of the bleeds, and then just keep drawing bleeds.
mistakes.
Yeah, I think you had to Shadow Step that first, because that cost him
2 mana.
What,
1.
that cost him 2 damage, or it cost him 2 damage so far.
Did you get it off? Well, didn't get it off, but it's seen what damage.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh, there was a second Garrote.
Yep. $4 million points going to the Dome of.
Ancestors watch over you.
There it is. Exact lethal.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was, I mean, it was just exactly what we talked about, the Celestial Alignment being disruptive enough to the combo just to mess with, the Contact Rogue enough to make it so that you just couldn't go off in the middle turns there. And there were also, I guess a little bit like different lines that could have been taken there, but I don't. It's such a hard deck to play. The Contact Rogue is such a hard deck to play.
I don't disagree. I've never tried that deck either, just because it was beyond my skills. I just didn't have enough time to kind of get in there. I like seeing the deck and how it's played and how you basically you can go crazy. I think it's on turn 5 where you can really just churn everything out. But
Yeah, it really depends on obviously what your early draws are,
Yep.
and there's a reason why the deck has such a high win rate for players who are so gifted at it, as opposed to such a low win rate for players who are inexperienced with it or just haven't put in hours and hours to master it.
there he is, Bone Masher. Congrats on the win tonight, man. Way to take it to game 5, buddy.
Yeah, it was a bit tough.
That's okay. I don't know if you happen to, if you shut off chat in Discord while you're playing. I don't know if you happen to catch the results of your other match that happened.
Yeah,
or if
it
we'll be
was
breaking news.
was finished just before we started, so it was 8-8 going into the match.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
we didn't see it when we were doing our pregame. Like we were
Okay.
fresh and it wasn't there yet. So you had knowledge that we did not have then.
Yeah. So I was hoping that we Shu would get up there. He actually went up 1-0 and then we was down 1-2. And then he come back and he won 3-2. The last game in that one was a Hunter Mirror, Face Hunter. And sorry, let's get the message here. Well, yeah, it was a Face Hunter mirror, and he managed to get Mankrik on 3 into Mankrik on 4 into Wife on 5. So, that was really important. If we'd lost that one, it would have been, I think, 10-6 down.
Right.
Which then would have made it a bit tougher. I mean, I would have had to have won. Like with the classes that were brought this week, I was probably unfavored. I had to ban like Warlock or Shaman to give Warrior a chance. And by banning like Warlock or Shaman, it probably makes Paladin's matchups a bit weaker. So sort of went Libram and tried to target the Taunt Druid, which I was expecting with what I'd brought. But then I gave my Druid some better matchups, but also making it really impossible nearly to win the mirror. So I took a chance. I queued it first, thinking that he would start with his Quest Shaman, which is what he brought, but I couldn't quite get it done in the first one. And then after that game, I thought I was done. I didn't think that I'd get through, but I just needed with 2 matches to go. I needed the right matchup. If he queued, I'd queued Paladin. If he queued Druid, I was a chance. If he queued Rogue, his Rogue probably gets over the Paladin, and then I would have had to have beaten Druid with Druid. So yeah, it's nice to get a win, and it puts us up by 2 points, which means that Avi just needs to get 2 points. I think we'll win
Correct.
the tiebreaker. So if
Yep.
Avi can just get 2, then we're home. So it's a good spot to be in. So
Yeah, if there's anyone I trust in THL to get at least 2, Avi is on that short list for sure. So I mean, PW is a great player, but like you said, it makes this a whole lot more comfortable for you and your team, knowing that there is definitely a lower floor that you have to clear rather than getting the win entirely. These playoffs, obviously the teams get tougher as we go along. Your team not excluded from that. You've got 4 players, yourself included, that are all above 500 right now for the season. So you're all having great seasons. And, Charip is the only one, I guess, that's struggling a little bit. But you guys have done such a good job of helping him out and winning regardless of the struggles. So, how confident are you going into not only this final match, but, advancing further into the playoffs here?
Yeah, I think we're in a good position. I think with Avi and Cheese in the 1 and 2, it's probably the best one. I mean, if you're looking at pure pure PR, like it's the best 1 and 2 out there because they're both well over 550. So to have those guys in the 1 and 2, that's just it's pretty insane. And then Schubacher in the 5, if he's not the best 5 seed in Legacy, because Mojo's had such a great season, he's definitely the second best. Although he did beat Mojo, so like to have those three guys who have performed really well all season. It's taken a bit of pressure off myself and Charup in the 3 and 4. I mean, I'm primarily a wild player. You could probably say I do play standard ladder as well, but I don't grind the standard ladder or do any Masters Tour qualifiers or anything like that. So, in the 3, it's been a bit tough, but I mean, I'm pretty happy having a 6. I think it's 6 and 4 now, 6 and 4 season.
Yeah, 6 and 4.
There's a lot of really good 3 seeds in Legacy. So, some of the teams are sort of stacked with those 3 heavy hitters, and then a couple of your cheap guy down the bottom. But I've had to play some good players, and like Geranium's, he's a really good player. So it's not going to get any easier next week if we get there, and then in the final, if we get there, there's going to be some stacked 3 seeds to come up against. But we'll give it a shake, and I'm pretty confident with Avi Cheese and Schubacher there, and then hopefully Charup and I can get some wins to take a bit of pressure off them, so that they don't have to do it every single week.
Yeah, I would say you're definitely in a solid position should you be able to advance out of this round, which tonight was a big step in the direction, positive direction there. Do we know when that last matchup is happening for your for this quarterfinal?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Sunday.
Avi's playing PWE on stream tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So that's
back
gonna
to back. They've got their pro match and their legacy. I don't know which one's first, but
I'll find out in 2 seconds here. I think it's pro first, but let's see. Oh, it's legacy first, so we'll find out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
yeah, that's going to be pretty good. So hopefully we get through, and then this season I think we beat every team in silver in the round robins. We only lost the 2 cross conference playoffs, and one of the teams we did lose to is Golden Wisps, and I think they're up 9-6 in their match against F2L. So we could be playing Golden Wisps, who I think they beat us 4-1, like 17-8 or something last time. So that's going to be a tough match. Like Golden Wisps are pretty stacked. Every single one of their players is above 500. I think they're all 7 or 6 wins down the line, and they're having a fantastic season. They're probably the team to beat. So if having to face them in the semi, it's going to be pretty challenging next week. If we're facing Golden Wisps, if we get through. A lot of presumptions there.
Yeah, you never want to assume that you're free and clear to move on forward. But at this point, you at least as an individual player on the team can start to look ahead at a little bit of prep, maybe, which gives you a couple extra days to kind of take a look at lineups and take a look at what you expect might be brought. Though I guess looking at their PR, you might not be playing the person you expect, because the 3 and the 4 might fluctuate as well based on the loss of Stev here to Robobson. So.
Yeah, that's true. And
of
PV
course,
could be moving up. I think I've played MPV this season as well. Maybe in pro, or maybe we played when we played in the legacy match. I know I played against him the week our legacy teams played, our pro teams played. So, but I've played MPV already this season, and I think if F2L get through, it looks like Robobson. Yeah, and he's beaten me this season too. So. But that was in pro, so yeah, some good players. If we get through, I'll have to prep well, and hopefully not do what I did in that Druid mirror where I was just like praying for the card off the top and not actually thinking about any other possible lines.
Yeah,
and just letting that one go. So I'll have to be on point next week if we get there.
We'll definitely look forward to see the end result of this series here. Legacy always comes right down to the wire. Of course, the teams, like we said, only get better as we go through the playoffs. So should be some tough competition over the next 2 weeks to see who will ultimately be the champion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching some of the other games as well.
Definitely. Well, anything else you'd like to say tonight in regards to this match, the series? Anything you'd like to say before we go tonight? The floor is yours.
Just give a shout out to the team. Like we've had a great season, and hopefully we move on to next week, and we'll give it a shake. First season for 8 p.m. and we've got 3 of the teams to playoffs. Wild bowed out a bit early, which was a bit of a shame. But Heroes fighting this week. They're fighting for for a playoff spot. So hopefully we can get them in there and you know, get some wins and see if we can get maybe a title. But you know, not many teams win titles, and they're very hard to win. So, but
Yeah, any title is well deserved for sure.
yeah.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah,
thanks
that's
for
it.
being on stream tonight. Really appreciate you offering up your match, and congratulations again on the win. Good luck the rest of the season.
No worries. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thanks again for joining us, Bowmaster. All right.
Yeah, Saku, great night.
What a crazy, crazy night. And if I ever see a mule again,
The mules.
yeah,
That mule is the story of the night. Yes, multiple spec bugs, unfortunate, but something we just deal with as casters.
that's right. That's our punishment, is because we watch so much, we get punished by having to restart
That's okay.
and leave and come back. But so yeah, as we've just kind of touched on briefly, we only have I believe one, double checking here. Saturday Schoolstone doesn't have anything scheduled. Neither does Sunday Schoolstone just yet. But we do have, so on Saturday, Wild 9 is going to be hosting, I think, with Geranium Battle, the Saturday matches there between Agent PWE and versus Aviously for Legacy. The back-to-back match there on Pro Series for Agent Previously. And then Sunday rolls around, and we're going to be showing, which is going to be hosted by Myanodon and myself. Actually, sorry, Memnarch and Myanodon, because we did have a Wild Series match, but it got canceled, unfortunately. But we ended up getting Roadrunner and Gymphilos from the Hero Series. That's going to be shown at 8 o'clock Eastern. Then we have Lotus Knight and Agent PWE for Hero Series at 9 p.m. Eastern. So it's going to be an Agent PWE weekend for those that are fans of Agents. But with that, I want to thank Wild 9 for filling us in there for Donde there for 8 o'clock show, and I want to thank Donde for jumping in at 9 and 10 o'clock shows. They're very, very awesome.
Yeah, a lot of
to
fun.
Jump in, man.
Yeah,
Fun to work for you?
appreciate the invite, and thank you obviously for stream opping. I know it's a thankless job, so I thank you at the very least. Hopefully everybody else out here definitely starts to understand a little bit more about how tough of a job it is, and to not only do the opping on the day of, but also to gather all the matches and whatnot. It's a lot more work than people realize.
Yeah. But thankfully, we've had a few individuals over the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks that just kind of DM myself or Lotus and just say, I want to be on stream. So we encourage every player out there, it doesn't matter skill level, jump on stream. There's not much to it. There's not too much judging involved, except for if you're using Mule in your decks. So do not use the Mule. That's all we're asking. So with that, everybody enjoy your night. Be safe out there. And we will see you on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.